Test, 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 test. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Android App Addicts, episode 603. I want to thank Mark Darthorn for his ongoing constant support for us when he supported us. And if you want to make sure that you only listen to the ad-free version of this podcast, all you got to do is go to patreon.com/Android App Addicts or just click the link in the notes. Speaking about notes, how's everything going, Ivor?
Oh, fantastic, Joel. We're having a great time here. School holidays. So I've got all the kids at home. My oldest daughter, just went back to university after her little semester break. So she spent 2 weeks here. So that was great to have her home for a couple of weeks. Rediscovered all the cutlery and all the crockery in her room, and wondered why we had no dishes left in the cupboard. But where did all the food go? Yeah, that was another thing that happened. So now we're just kind of going back to normal now that she's not here anymore.
Gotcha. How is your temperature down there, by the way?
Oh, it's a balmy 17 degrees, I think. That's Celsius.
Yeah.
So it's I do have the fire going. It's not too bad. Yeah.
Gotcha. Very cool.
We have had some cold nights.
Yeah, I don't have them right now. Speaking of the literal polar opposite, how is everything going there, Josh?
Everything's going well, Dor. It has been hot here, that's for sure.
You can see the sweat dripping off your nose.
Yeah, well, that's not. Still have a 5-year-old. We've just been doing a lot of outdoor stuff. I was thinking about when I sat down here. This is the first time I sat down in my office since probably last time we did one of these, so 7 or 8 months ago. And I like not being on my computer. I haven't really even opened it. But we did build a chicken coop and a run, and then we've assembled our pool again. And so I'm going to have to duck out in a little while because a guy's going to come and deliver the water for it because we're on a well and our water smells like farts. And if you fill up an entire pool, the whole neighborhood probably smell like farts, which might be kind of fun anyway. But then middle of the summer is not the time you want to be pulling 6,000 gallons out of a well.
Right. So, why did the chicken coop have 2 doors?
Because it was a coupe de ville.
Because if it had 4, it would be a chicken sedan. Did you also make that one like movable, rollable cage thing that you showed me?
No, this started off as that.
Huh.
And then eventually I realized that it weighed 4,000 pounds and that I couldn't even lift it up, let alone move it. And so it turned into a coop with a run. So it's pretty skookum though. Like they should be happy, and they better be laying eggs here in a couple months.
As long as it leaves, foxes out and those kind of things, you'll be good.
Yeah, we don't have any foxes here, but there
Coyotes?
are not really any coyotes. There's wolves around, there's cougars around, there's black bears. But then even you have to watch out from above too, because there's eagles, and the ravens will come down and take chickens as well. And there's all sorts of hawks and turkey vultures. And so, yeah, it's basically the whole place is just a death trap. And so it's trying to get as secure as possible.
Well, you can, but if a grizzly bear wants it, doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Is it bear proof? Yeah.
No, but I did see a really cool thing. It was in, I want to say it was Yellowstone Park, where every year they do like a contest who can make the perfect bear-proof trash can. And they basically put food in the trash can, seal up, and throw it at the bears, basically. And they let the bears have at it. And like only like one in the last couple of years was like not successfully torn open and ripped apart kind of thing by the bear. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you just need to put a picnic basket beside it?
No, anywhere where there's bears, I don't know if you've been to places with bear-proof trash bins, and they kind of have a little lip, and then you have to slide your hand inside of it to actually unlatch it. Our neighbor we have curbside recycling and compost and trash. And so on the compost bin it says, bear resistant. And he showed me it and it's just chewed up. Like the bear just went in there and gnawed the corner of it until he got it open.
Right.
I guess that's why it's not bear proof.
Yeah. It's been pretty hot here, I know as well. Yesterday, I want to say with the heat index and everything was 107. And Baltimore's area is known for the humidity as well. So it was literally like horrible, disgusting.
It's about
I
30 degrees or something, isn't it?
That's over 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's over 33.
You have AC?
Oh
in your
yeah.
house?
Oh yeah. But as soon as I go out the door and I had to go to work or something,
Yeah.
I lose 5 pounds between here and the car. It seems like
You should park closer.
doesn't matter. But yeah, so everything basically same here. Just took me a little bit to get set up because I installed a new OS here called Chimera OS. Fiddling with it kind of thing. And I realized I didn't have some of the basic tools installed. So hey, had to do some setting up today, which of course on Linux just is a couple minutes. So all good.
And you said that's Arch based?
Technically, it's an Arch-based distribution, but it has no Pacman installed, no package manager installed, just flat packs.
So there's no manager. How do you?
You install a flat pack, or you don't.
That's it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really stable. And I know everybody I know who likes Arch eventually gets to the point where they admit to me something go boom. What went boom? I don't know. And I spent like 2 hours trying to fix it, kind of thing. Because Arch is Arch. I mean, you're on the edge. Sometimes you're going to slip. You know what I mean? So this is supposed to be much more stable, is what I'll say. We will see. In the Android verse, I will say I'm seeing a whole bunch of news. Everything from Samsung Ring got showcased today. I love the idea of a smart ring just for health monitoring, as long as it has, over easily, in my logic, it has to be easily over a day charging life. Otherwise, what's the point?
Tim in the chat's asking if doesn't Arch stand for archaic?
It should. It definitely should.
Yeah, and I don't think it matters what Linux distribution you're using. You're always going to have that 2-hour chunks of time for something dumb.
I mean, I don't know, man. This box that I'm using as a streaming rig in honor of a podcast called Going Linux and Tom, who was on it, who insisted he was never going to reinstall again. He was just going to upgrade his distribution. And of course, once in a while he would do it live during taping, which never ended well. But this box has gone on 7 years without having to reinstall, running the same Ubuntu, doing nothing but do upgrades every time there's a LTS thing. And I've never had really any issue with it except for it goes slow.
And that's just a Ubuntu?
Yeah, just standard Ubuntu, nothing special. I just changed the desktop up a little bit to be not as ugly. That's about it. But yeah, speaking of stuff going boom, Microsoft, they bought SwiftKey keyboard on Android. It must have been now at least 4 or 5 years ago. This is your classic example of a company buying something and then a company not doing the due diligence to just do simple maintenance upkeep things. They literally forgot to update the SSL cert in the keyboard because nowadays everything wants to connect to something. You know what I mean? Because it can't be just, offline anymore, seems like. So they accidentally let their SwiftKey cert expire, and now everyone who is using SwiftKey is at least having some sort of issue. From what I've heard, there's a bunch of different things how it can surface up to you as an error, but if you trust the big boys when they're doing stuff that they don't completely didn't write, don't have, they're not passionate about it. To me, these are the kind of things that happen.
Well, I mean, you also need to be connected to the internet in order to upload all the key logs, the keystroke logs, right? Well, that's where
Yeah.
they're spending their time, I'm sure, is collecting that type of data and not worrying about the SSL certificate.
Yeah. I was a SwiftKey user for years, up until very recently, actually, and I quite enjoyed using SwiftKey. It had a lot of functionality and things, but I was always conscious that it was owned by Microsoft and was sending them all sorts of information, and tried to find alternative keyboard alternatives that were just as good, but always ended up going back to it because of the functionality. But now I've well, as we'll discover later, I've found a new keyboard app, and I've been using that. It's really good.
Yeah, I'll say to talk about what Josh said for a hot second. Of course, I mean, data is literally the new oil, especially now with AI needing data to do its language models and stuff. And they want data because if you take a look at their last thing they were talking about that they delayed the release of, it was called recall.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
I don't know if you know, but on Windows, like when an error message pops up, you can just hit Control C and it will copy that into clear text. Then you can go anywhere and paste, and it will paste the text from the error message. Even though you can't highlight it, it's there. The same exact kind of technology was going on with recall, where every X number of minutes it would do a copy of the screen, but when it's copying, it's really copying text. And storing it in a SQL like database. And basically, so when you could say hypothetically, call up that pizza place across. This is how they see AI working. Call up that pizza place down the street from me, right past that donut shop, and order that pizza that my mom loves. And then hypothetically, if you've been to that pizza site ordering stuff on your computer, and if your mom sent you a thing saying what kind of pizza she liked, then the co-pilot or recall would do better at following up with those automation tasks via AI. But it was delayed, is what I'll say. But it's inevitable. Literally, it's going to come.
Yeah, but as a good friend at Tech Alta pointed out in his last video, that requires a huge amount of access to everything that
Doesn't
you do
matter. Doesn't matter.
and got on your devices.
Microsoft
Yeah,
doesn't
I know
care.
it doesn't matter to them, but
Yeah.
they want that level. Are we happy with them having that level of access? I'm not.
Well, I think that everything that Microsoft's make should probably be called recall.
Reject or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, we have to take back this and fix the carburetor.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
What's that red dot on your forehead, Josh?
Just for the simple fact, they've never even came close to writing anything secure. I mean, why would they start
Ever.
now? Yeah. So yeah, this is one. If you didn't have a good reason to get off of SwiftKey, now you should have a really, really
certainly do
good
now.
reason. Yeah.
The one thing about SwiftKey, I mean, we could save this till later too, because I've got a couple keyboard apps that don't have the swipe texting or the swipe text.
Mhm.
So that's a proprietary piece of kit that I guess it's no, the one that I got was from Google, from the Gboard, because it's not in the other, well, the open source ones, Heliboard and another one, and so you had to kind of like side load. I found one you could side load the Gboard. Somebody had taken it out, I guess, and of course I went through the proper steps of security and vetting the GitHub and checking the hash.
Yeah.
And so yeah, just grab it and throw it in there, and it works. It's a little bit wonky. Well, we'll talk about this later because I don't.
We can get right into keyboards because keyboards are good. Because I'll say, and this is almost naive. I fully admit this. Okay, I trust Google more if I have Google Keyboard installed of them scraping all the data and putting it on their servers, but it not being easily hackable by other parties. With Microshaft, anything they put out is going to be it isn't just that Microsoft will have the data. Anybody who takes a little bit of effort and writes a script kitty, like copies and pastes some scripts off of, think, oh, it's going to work, and they're going to get all the data too. But with Google, I at least feel safe in saying they value the data so much they keep it for themselves. Maybe I'm naive. I'll say that. So let's get into, well, I'll say me too. I mean, I used to use other keyboards frequently, but then I was like, man, I don't like the fact that this keyboard can see what I'm copying and pasting. Because to me, a clipboard is one of the places where you do copy some really sensitive data, whether it's
Mm.
social security numbers, long digits like that, passwords.
Bitcoin addresses
Yeah, exactly.
or Bitcoin.
So because of that, I like stopped using third-party keyboards for the longest time, and then with this most recent thing, I'm like, maybe I should start to look at other keyboards for a change because I don't need anything special. That's my whole thing. I really don't need anything special on my keyboard. I need it to type. If it can do voice dictation, good. And that's about it.
Well,
I
I'm
like
looking
the customization and the themes you could get on SwiftKey. Though you had some pretty cool designs there, but you're paying for that.
You ask all the time, every show, do we have any new hardware to report?
Oh,
And
yeah.
I always have to say no, and Ivor's the only one that takes the thunder every 3 months with a new phone. So if we rewind just a little bit, Dora, I'd like my time to shine here.
Yeah. Hey, Josh,
I was just about to ask about this.
do you have anything new?
Nah, it's all good. Let's move on. Um, yes, I got a new phone, which isn't new, but it was new to me, and it is a Google Pixel 6A because I'm poor, and I saw somebody put it up for $200, and it looked brand new, so I bought that, and then you have to. Well, it had regular old Android on it, obviously. So I put, before I did anything with the phone, I put Graphene OS on it, and so I've been going through that. It definitely requires a bit more work if you're trying to do something like this. Like I haven't done my fingerprint, or I don't think this even has facial recognition. Maybe it does. I don't know. But just putting passwords in every time and just trying to slow the whole process down too. Like I haven't put Amazon on there because it's so easy when you're doing something. Oh man, I need this to complete this, and they just go on Amazon, order it, and whatever. Just taking the time to put in a password instead of scanning your fingerprint, and then getting everything, trying to find where you get apps from. And so I've used Obtainium a couple times now, and F-Droid, and then what's the other one? There's one that is it's a Aurora.
The App Store. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's if something's not on the App Store or that isn't on F-Droid or any of those other ones, you can go through Aurora, and it says it's an anonymous download, basically. So Google's not getting the data from your phone. I guess somehow it's obfuscating that. And
What about APK Mirror? Have you been able to use that?
I haven't been there. I've done a couple APK downloads and installs as well. But yeah, that's a good idea. So just trying to figure out how to get all of that on. The phone is okay. The camera has been kind of crappy, which sucks because that's one of the things that. But it might just be, I might just need different software, or I don't know. I mean, I think I was pretty spoiled with that Huawei as well, because just it's a nice phone, even 6 years into it or 7 years into it. Like it's a much better phone than this one is for stock. So I'm kind of downgrading the phone, even though it's many years newer. But yeah, that's I'm I need a full case for any phone that I have. It took me about 30 seconds to scratch the screen, and so yeah, now running graphene OS like a rock star, basically.
So, like time wise, how long did it take from sitting down to your computer to start looking up graphene and how to get it installed to the point where you had that first boot? How long the time would you say that took you?
30 minutes.
That's it. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a bit longer, but it was fairly straightforward. You just have to connect your. Basically, you go to the graphene website, and they have it's kind of a tutorial, but with links that you just press it. It's like, and it does all the back end work right there on the website. You have to put your phone into developer mode, obviously, and then unlock the bootloader,
Right.
and then it has a download. So then you download, and there's something came up, and I can't remember what it was, but I wasn't able to download for a while, and then I figured out what that issue was, and then it downloads graphene, and then it takes. I mean, the longest part is when it's installing. It takes a bit to install.
Right.
Fires up a couple times, but I could see it being intimidating, right? Especially if you have a brand new Pixel 8 or something and aren't comfortable with just clicking buttons and maybe destroying it.
Right.
So, but yeah, it was pretty seamless.
Well, I definitely understand the intimidation factor, especially doing it the first time. But I'll say the good thing is for like the last 6 years, you really haven't been able to brick a phone, even if mid install it loses power. I've still had it to where I can still get things to install just fine again after that. But I
But
will say,
is that with different OSs or different?
yeah, like ROMs and stuff.
ROMs,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Ever since they made it so you couldn't pull the battery out easily, they had special hooks in to help with power issues kind of thing and with install failures. I will say, see if you can find that like official Google camera app. Because that might help you, because that's the same thing I got. And I'll say this, most of the time when I take a picture, I'm doing it right by like taking my time, holding it up and then taking a picture. I'll say it's good. I'm not gonna go crazy and say it's the best thing ever. But I notice when I'm rambunctious, you know what I mean? Like, don't wait. I just pick it up, boom. The picture is garbage, blurred, useless kind of thing.
What's the zoom on the Google one?
Uh,
Because this zoom is only up to 6 or something like that, which maybe is normal, because that was one of the main reasons that I bought that
7.
Huawei 7. Yeah, that Huawei is that it had.
Oh, that had 50 times zoom or something, didn't it?
Yeah, and it has it had a Leica camera on it.
Gotcha. Well,
so it's a Pixel 6a you've got, isn't it, Josh?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, because we got an email from the commander.
It's actually a 6. It's a 6, but up here it's called a 6A.
6A.
6A. So you're in the same boat as the commander. Shall I read the email that we got from him the other day?
Sure.
Oh, I didn't even see it. This is exciting.
It says, "Hi guys, I have missed you. I understand life is like it is and you don't upload as often. Just letting you know you are appreciated." Well, thanks. That's great. "I continue in my quest of hiding from Big Brother with my newly upgraded Pixel 6a with Graphene OS." So it's good he considers it an upgrade. "My Pixel 4, being legacy supported, needed to go into retirement. I looked into the Fairphone 5, which is supported by Calyx OS, but double the price of the 6a. The Fairphone is a nice concept and I guess justifies the price because you can fix it yourself if you needed to. I would like to recommend other paranoids like me a weather app from F-Droid called Breezy Weather. Open source, needs only your location or you can manually input your city. I was surprised to see how nice it is being free open source. It can even change your wallpaper with the current conditions. Well, I guess I could look out the window. Anyways, great podcast, guys. Keep it up."
Wow.
And thank you. It's nice to receive those
Yeah, especially our commander, right?
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
commander. But he's in the same boat. He's got the Pixel 6a with Graphene OS, and he's obviously loving it.
How do you like the camera? How about that, Commander? Could you hit us up?
Yeah,
I don't
let
know
us
how
know.
when was this email received?
18th of June.
Yeah,
Okay, so it was a while.
I might have to check the forwarder.
Oh,
Well,
Here he is,
well,
star of the show. Hey.
hi, buddy.
I'll be back.
Okay.
in a bit.
Well, the one thing I just want to mention before you go,
Yeah.
Post Market OS. I'm going to talk a touch about that. You might want to also check that out.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, let me
Post Market OS.
Gonna wait for an hour until I come back.
I don't know.
Yeah, we're just going to sit here and twiddle our thumbs, play with our beards.
All right. Have fun.
Okay.
Yeah, so Post Market OS is, I think, an OS that Josh actually might favor. I'll say a little bit. I forgot to put the link in the chat. There you go. This is a real, honest to goodness Linux distribution that you put on your phone raw, but it does have the ability to run APK files. This is the only Linux on a phone that I know that has that baked in ability from the get go. I'm sure not everything is going to run great. You know, I'm going to
Of course not. Never does.
But I honestly think if you are a fan of Linux or you want to get into the idea of being able to literally look at everything on your phone and control everything on your phone, and you like the form factor of Android phones, this might be a okay way to do it. And they just announced now they support over 250 different devices to be installed on, which I will say is nearly the most I've heard for any project like this. So that's a pleasant change of pace is the way I'll put it.
Okay, so this is an OS you like Graphene OS you put on your phone. It's Linux front end, Linux familiarity, look and feel, and you can run APKs on it.
Yeah, the one I'll say nice feeling thing for a lot of the users is it's running what looks like a version of GNOME Shell. And now when I look at GNOME Shell and I look at Android, like the pull down menus and stuff, man, they look a lot alike. So I think it would be less of a like, you know, culture shock thing to an Android user than it would be, of course, to a iPhone type user. But
Right. Is
just
there any way I can get a Linux distribution? I don't know. Just a bit of a newbie question. If I can run Android apps on my laptop that's running Linux, like will Linux allow me to do that?
Yeah, I mean, the easiest and best way to do it is always just to install the Android Studio, because inside the Android Studio, you can literally just say run this, and that's the I'll say the best way to get the best experience with an individual app. If you literally want to like run apps on the side, like a regular application, I mean, I've never seen improvements for stuff like oh man, I'm trying to remember the name of the one, Blue something.
Blue Sky.
Blue Sky, and I mean, it was okay. Technically, it ran.
It was an emulator.
Yeah. But I'll say,
but it ran an old version of. It wasn't great.
Yeah,
I used it. It wasn't great.
I haven't tried honestly for at least this year, so at least like 7 months or so. I can give it another try, but I know every time I do, the websites promise the world, and I'm always utterly disappointed in the experience.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. There was another one that worked okay, better than Blue Sky, but I can't remember what it was. Kind of given up on emulators.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I will say.
Well, it was nice to get that email from the commander.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and if you really do want to run Android apps probably on your computer, probably your best bet is Android x86, and literally running Android.
Right. Yes, x86. Yeah.
Yep. But
you have to try that. But will that doesn't take over the operating system, does it? Oh, it does.
It does.
That's the only problem I had with it.
Right, and that's the problem a lot of people have with. They don't want to run Android full time on their desktop. They just want to run this app or that app.
Yeah, that's right. Because Windows have tried with that, and it hasn't really worked, has it? There's a couple
No.
of games, I think. But no
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. That I'll say, man, now this is to me is this is one of the things I truly despise. If you want, you can run the Chrome browser, and via the Chrome browser, you can run
Mm.
a lot of the Android games right there in your browser. So they've enabled that, but I don't know if you could run other applications in the Chrome browser or not.
So they're specifying which apps will run, which ones won't.
That's the impression I get when
Or,
I look into it, because I hate Chrome so much. And I want to say it literally said it required Chrome on Windows because I tried it on my Chrome on Linux. I believe it didn't work.
ooh,
Yeah, which is weird to me.
well, that's you out of the game straight away, then, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, because I'm not doing it
Yeah,
on my work computer.
no,
I
no.
like having my job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like keeping your job. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you said you had a new keyboard up your sleeve?
Yeah. This is an app called Futo Keyboard. Futo. Actually, I thought you were going to do it, so I thought I'd leave it to you. I don't have. Have you got the? Oh, you've got it there. You've got the link. That's great. So yeah, Futo keyboard. What I liked about this one was the first thing it asks is why does a keyboard need to have access to the internet? And when you think about it, that's a very good question. Why does a keyboard need to have access to the internet? It doesn't really. It should just work. Um, so what as I said, I've been pretty unhappy with SwiftKey. Didn't like Gboard, and then couldn't really find an open source one on F-Droid that had swiping. But this particular app has swipe functionality. You can customize it, and it has a learning model which figures out predictive typing without accessing or sharing your information, which I think is fantastic. It's the sort of thing that we at Android App Addicts should really get behind and support because it's a philosophy that we agree with. I think I can say that safely.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now I have been using this the last, I think, 2 weeks, and it's been going very well. There've been some issues with getting the right words in the predictive text, but over time, as you use it more and more, it learns what you need. It also integrates with your password manager, so I can access my password manager as well because I'm using 1Password, and yeah, just very easy to use. I don't miss SwiftKey at all, really. The only thing I do miss is the arrow keys that SwiftKey came with,
Ah,
but that's about it.
gotcha. Yeah, I do like the fact that this supports all offline voice input. And I almost don't mind literally if like one out of whatever words I got to go back and redo because every now and then it still happens to me on Google, and I know it's because my pronunciation isn't always, on
Yep.
point is the way I'll put it. Um, so I'm okay with that. I literally, um, when I stumbled across this today, I knew I saw this before, and I'm like, where did I see this before? And you sent it to me weeks ago.
Mm.
I just completely forgot about it.
Yeah. So if you have a look at the app description on Google Play Store, it says the keyboard is currently under construction and in open testing. Some features such as swipe typing, theming, autocorrect are unfinished. So you may run into some bugs and crashes. I have to say I have not run into very many bugs or crashes at all. It's been very usable and very smooth. So yeah, but they appreciate feedback. Requires Android 7 and up, version 1.2.22, content rating rated for 3+, released on the 8th of June, last updated on the 18th of June. It's got 10,000 plus downloads. And its permissions just wants the microphone to record audio. It views your network connections, reads terms you added to the dictionary, runs at your startup, obviously, controls your vibration, prevents your device from sleeping, and adds words to a user-defined dictionary. So doesn't really like to have access to the internet, which I think is great.
Yeah, that's all very logical permissions. And it clearly
Yep.
says in the data safety portion, no data shared with third party apps and no data is even collected. So now,
Let's see how long it lasts.
well, that's the whole thing. This is 2024, which means realistically, we should set like a calendar reminder up like once a year or whatever. Come back to the store and take a look and see if any of that changed. See if the ownership maybe changed, because it might change ownership, either that or the permissions might change or something like that might change because they might get sold out, or they might decide, I just got married and I'm having a kid and I really need the money. So let me start to do some finagling. It could happen, and we've seen this happen before. So yeah, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
No matter how trustworthy anything is, it's always like a picture. It's always just a static image at this time, and I'll hold all future um, beliefs in it until in the future.
Yes. Yes. Well, there've been from bitter experience. I think we've learned that once you've stumbled onto a good thing, it's only a matter of time before someone comes along and tries to ruin it
Yeah, absolutely.
with
But I'm gonna
dirty money.
right. But I'm gonna definitely give this a try. It does look like you have to um, download an add-on to get the voice input part. And they have the add-ons to customize your keyboard with custom dictionaries under construction, voice input English models, and multilingual models. Alrighty.
Okay.
Very cool.
Cool. So I noted from your comment, you're saying you like browser plugins with YouTube Enhance and Sponsor Block. Have you? Are you using a? I suppose you've got a YouTube Premium subscription, haven't you?
I
You're
still
not
do,
using a
but
third party.
pretty sure its days are numbered.
Oh, okay. Because I've been using a couple of I've been using one main YouTube third party sort of open source app, which is called SkyTube Extra. But it's recently, just in the last couple of days, it's broken. And I think that's because YouTube's crackdown on third party players.
Well, and that's the thing in my experience. Whenever you're trying to do something around the corner of YouTube, the problem with YouTube is it is always just constantly changing too. I mean, this is not like a
Hmm.
one. I mean, if you were to look at the change log of changes to the YouTube server backend stuff, I'm sure it's a gazillion a year
Yep.
kind of thing.
Yep.
So it really is like a moving target. And I'll say this, it also depends on what videos you're looking at, because what happens is they don't migrate everything like this using the
Right.
oh man, um I watched him speak in Boston. I want to say Chow. I want to say it was literally the interplanetary file system. Was what they were using on YouTube, especially because they can't upgrade everything at one point in time because it means downtime. So what they end up doing is they literally swarm
Phase
their
it.
upgrades. So quite literally, if
Yep.
you get your video from this server, you're going to get this version of YouTube. If you get it from that server, it's a totally different version of YouTube. But to you, the end user, it should appear seamless. Is what I'll say. Um, so yeah, the YouTube is such a moving target. I would love anything to even come close to competing with YouTube. I know there's alternates out there, but I mean, I even know a guy that works for Vimeo. And guess what?
Yeah.
I still don't use Vimeo. You know what I mean? So I don't know what's going to
But
take.
Pete Barini in the chat saying new pipe is broken now too. So he's saying every video on new pipe produces an error message. Yeah, I was getting that too. I tried new pipe, went straight over to new pipe when I realized that SkyTube was broken, and I was getting an error, but I was able to watch the videos, but not able to download anything, not able to stream anything. It's yeah, they're closing down.
Yeah. And I will say I have to also now have sponsor block. And I know there's a couple
Yes.
apps that have that too. I have to have that installed because it's just like when we watch Jeopardy at the house. You know what I mean? Ken
Mm.
Jennings, whatever. But when they, after the first commercial break, when they talk to the contestants, no, I don't want to hear. I don't care. I don't care about your puppy. I don't care about your run-in with George Clinton. I don't care about any of that stuff. I don't care. Get to the damn trivia. So quite literally, me and my wife either, as soon as the show starts, she hits pause. and then she fast forwards through the commercials and fast forwards through that talking bit because it is useless. Just like this video is sponsored by Notorious VPN. You like, Notorious BIG? Well, how about Notorious VPN? Stuff like that. No, I can't. No, I don't trust them selling me anything. I don't care who it is.
That sounds pretty good, actually. I'd buy a VPN called Notorious VPN.
I know. But and that's the thing, because I know nothing they're talking about at that moment in time is coming from the heart. It's coming from the wallet.
Yep.
And that's why, again, if you want to watch this show ad free, just go to patreon.com/Android App Addicts.
Well, I was looking at because my daughter and I we went to the library while she was here, and they had a chess set on a table, and so we had a game of chess, manual physical chess.
Yeah.
And it was good. We played, and I beat her, of course, and she wanted to carry on playing chess after that, so that was great. So I tried looking for a chess app because she's down the other end of the country now. And I thought, well, let's try to find an app we could play chess together on, just online. And I found one that I forget the name of it, but it was $200. They were going to charge $200 a year if you wanted to have more than like 10 moves on a game.
No.
And it was like $17 a month, $18 a month, something like that. And I just thought it was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
I wouldn't. Now this might be old and stuff could have changed, but I know chess.com was the #1 chess playing site, and nothing looked great about the website. You know what I mean? It was very functional, not form wise. And then with that, you could download the app. And the beautiful thing about that app I liked was when the move was made, you could either opt into getting an email or getting an in-app notification saying, okay, now it's your turn. I will say and I want to say that was also the app where it basically said, you can also have that delayed, like wait 15 minutes, then send me the notification. So, you don't feel like you're constantly being bugged to do this kind of thing. I thought that was a good option too. Because that was suggested by Mark Cockrell back in the day, because he loves chess.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'll say. Loves.
Well, I did find an app. I'll put this in the chat. It is free. There is a free version. Then there's also a pro version. But with the free version, you don't get any limited functionality. You can still play games as much as you like. There's no restrictions. But the pro version pays for nice little extras, like you can send pictures to each other on chat, or stuff like that. There's a whole bunch of other things. So this is called Social Chess Online Chess by Woodchop Software, and it's a nice, simple, basic chess playing game. You can get the app to set you up with an opponent. You specify. They have this thing called an ELO. I don't know what it stands for, but I think that's your experience level of chess. And so you can specify the opponents you want to encounter on a random chess game. And I mean, the graphics are good. They're okay. They're not anything spectacular. But they work well. It's very stable. You've got all sorts of options. You can have there's a chat option for your opponents. You can set the amount of time it takes for the game to, if they don't make their move within a certain amount of time, then they automatically default. So you can set that between 1 and 12 days. So you can have these long ongoing games. You get a nice little notification that comes up on your phone when it's your turn. You can set moves in advance, so you can do a pre-move while you're waiting for your opponent to do theirs. I thought it was really, really good. Really good functionality, nice and simple, and allows me and my daughter my daughter and I had a game last night, and of course she thrashed me.
Problem with kids, man, they learn quick, man. Very cool.
A big chess fan? You into chess?
I definitely like chess more than checkers. I'll say that, because checkers is like,
I never understood checkers. I never really played it.
It was just, to me, that was the most annoying game as a kid, and I don't know why. I like Chinese checkers more than checkers, but chess I definitely liked. I wasn't ever great at it, at even remotely close. I just had fun.
No.
You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely a fan. I like the idea of being able to set that time kill, because you literally might say, I'm tired of waiting 12 days for a move,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think what a lot of people were doing was once they realized that they were going to lose the game, they would just abandon it so it wouldn't affect their record. And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Well, that and I could see like saying like a 2-day thing because like maybe the person first thing in the morning when they get up, that's the first thing they do, check the chessboard and make a move.
Ooh, it's a bit sad.
Well, everybody has their thing. Some people only do it when they're on the can, maybe.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So Red's got an interesting comment in the chat saying my rule on YouTube ads 99.999% are fake, and YouTube won't stop the scam ads like the antenna that gets cable channels. He's right. Yeah, that's the other thing about reason I hate ads.
I don't know of any. See, there's no what's it called, like regulations on internet ads. I know of like I want to say it was the UK where like you couldn't sell a dishwasher as a dishwasher. You had to call it like a dish sanitizer or something.
Yeah.
It was something like that. Where in the UK their ad like you can't sell Red Bull. The people that made Red Bull got sued. They got sued because it didn't give me wings, and the person won.
Wow.
Yeah. So stuff like that happens in the UK. They're a little bit harder on deceptive ads, is the way I'll put it. Here in the US, we don't care.
Puffery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, I mean, you can find any kind
Okay.
of woo-woo thing on late night TV selling you whatever. You know what I mean?
Gwyneth Paltrow. Yeah.
Yeah, especially enlargement treatments.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
Yeah, good luck. If you watch Penn and Teller BS, the one guy said the tug technique. He said at least it was fun.
I wouldn't know what you're talking about.
I have no idea.
But just going back to the YouTube thing, I mean, yeah, YouTube might be closing some gates now, but there's only a matter of time before someone finds a 31-foot ladder and gets over the wall, and then it's all on.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. I think they know. I mean, they're not. Look, I gotta believe they're not stupid. They could right now close the gates, but they're doing it very gingerly, very slowly, because they know, they do it slow. Some people just get over it, and then if enough, people yell, then they can open back up just a little bit more, just kind of thing. But until there's real
Well, I think they're doing
competition,
it. Yeah. I think they're doing it because they want to just boost the premium. A lot of people are going to say, "Oh, okay, I'll just go to premium subscription. It's only what $20 a month or something."
they
May as
raise
well.
the price, is what I'll say. I used to only have to pay $15 a month for a family account, and in that family I could have 5 people. Now I want to say it's $25 a month.
Right.
And I am at the point now where I'm okay if I'm getting a value out of something, even if it's even if it's my audio recorder for this podcast. If I get value from it, I try to throw them some money once in a while,
Yeah.
just because.
Yeah.
Being forced to is where I start to get upset at things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the other thing I'm conscious of is that, as with everything else that you pay a subscription to remove ads for, eventually the ads come back, and you're still left paying for something that's only even slightly, just a little bit slightly better than what other people are not paying for. So
Right.
you either get inundated with ads, or you just get the occasional ad every now and then, every 5 minutes instead of every 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Like they've done with Netflix, like they've done with Spotify, like they've done with everything. It's just everything is advertising creeps into everything.
Yeah, I haven't been able to listen to any music, anything, unless it's my audio that I downloaded myself. Because then I know what I'm listening to. I know I can listen to that right now, and I know I'm not getting any ads. I will say, I think I did bring the app Plex Amp a couple weeks ago.
Yes, we did.
Where I can listen to my audio on that app, and it does take a little learning. Like the more you use it, the smarter it seems to get. But I like that one so far, just because I can just say, play more like this artist, and it just goes off.
Yeah. Well, what I like is I can listen to your music. So I have access. If you share your library with me, I can listen to your music, which I did try once, and I ended up with a whole bunch of George Carlin comedy sketches and a whole bunch of hip hop. I might go back again.
Yeah. Well, I
So
wanted to
you
download
haven't
all
labeled your songs.
right. I wanted to download everything George Carlin ever did. So I
Yeah.
said, let me try to get his albums too. And man, there's too many albums, man. There was
Yeah,
too
he's done a
many
lot.
of them because I have all of his stand-up routines on my Videoplex server. Um, which every now and then I just turn one on and just, remember how comedy used to be, where it was okay to make fun of stuff.
Actually funny.
Yeah. Yeah. That the two. Um, I'm going to bring this one app that I thought Josh thought it was cool. There is a very specific reason I am bringing this app. It is called Octi, OCTI. Um, its name doesn't make any sense because when I first saw the app, I swore, well, the app's going to do 8 of something. Of course, that's oct, right? Octagon.
Octi, yep.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's not what it is at all. Um, It is a app that will let you synchronize information between multiple Android devices. Um, you can share everything from device and Android OS details. So quite literally, like you change your background on one phone, it changes on the other one, or Android device. Doesn't have to be a phone. You know what I mean? Um,
Ah,
you can share and see battery status. You can share Wi-Fi connectivity information, so you don't have to relogging in. It can automatically install installed applications on the secondary device, and more. If you have a good idea, let me know. The developer says you can pick different ways to synchronize the information. You can use your Google Drive, a free server hosted by them, or self-hosted by your own server. More choices coming soon. Um, the reason I want to do it is because quite literally, I'm still using my old um, device as my audio player, basically as my podcast player. Um, and I almost don't know why I'm still using it, except it's just everything's working fine on that phone. The Pixel One, um, I just use that for basically browsing, finding notes and show links, and as a phone kind of thing. So I might install this app on both of them and slowly migrate the last. I want to say there's 2 or 3 apps on my old phone and migrate that stuff over. Now I know in the Google Play Store I can already say sync this information, um, but I want to try somebody else's attempt at doing it first to see how good they are, and then if all else fails, I'll go back to the Google solution.
yeah. Well, if you look behind me, you see there's my old Android tablet. That's my I use it mainly for guitar playing actually, but I have it synchronized with Google Play, saying that anything I install on my phone goes onto the tablet as well, and that's quite a pain sometimes. I don't really want it to install some apps on there, but yeah, this will be good. Does it matter what versions of Android you're running on the device?
I'm sure there's a minimum version, is what I'll say. Um,
Do they have to be the same? I imagine they wouldn't.
uh,
Hopefully, they wouldn't.
if you're only sharing app information, I don't think the version should matter.
Right. Yeah, so I was saying you can pick different ways to synchronize the information. Google Drive, free server hosted by me, self-host your own server, or more soon.
Yeah.
Looks interesting. Yeah, I might give it a go.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool. Again,
Yeah,
Octi, Mathis, Urahan, uh, GPL open license, last updated September 12th last year, it looks like. So I'll say
right.
good code doesn't need to be constantly updated.
Oh, yeah,
Just,
it is on the Google Play Store as well.
oh, good, good, good.
So I'll put the link in there too.
Thank you. Thank you.
There you go. Yeah, I might have to give that one a go. So the app I've got next is called the Atlas Obscura Travel Guide. Have you heard of Atlas Obscura?
I've definitely thought I've heard of Atlas. I thought they were like the number one Atlas company for a while.
Oh, right. Well, they've got an awesome online presence, I have to say. And they've got this little app. But basically, what they would do is they would send me little emails every day with different destinations around the world of interest. And, not just your run of the mill, the Louvre or the pyramids in Egypt. It's like weird, out of the way places and them backwoods of Czechoslovakia or something. So if you want a guide, a travel guide to some of the weird places in the world with obscure history, then the Atlas Obscura Travel Guide is a really good option for you. So we're up to version 1.3.3, requires Android 7 and up, rated for 3 plus, released on 31st of July 2022, updated on July 5th this year. 100,000 plus downloads, and requires location and precise location and approximate location, GPS and network based. So it really just wants your location permissions. And the reason for that is you can contribute your own sites of interest on the app as well. So if there's an interesting place nearby to you, you can add the details here, or you can get the app to show you sites of interest that are in your neighborhood. Check it out, try it out. It's a lot of fun, especially if you Door, if you live in somewhere that's actually historically interesting and not a country that's not very interesting historically.
But yeah, I mean, I have places like Gettysburg not far from me, but also Fort Fort McHenry, where Francis Scott Key, aka the Key Bridge, that's now no more, Francis Scott Key, wrote the national anthem.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I'm tempted to shoot this app to my wife because she's all of a sudden started talking about wanting to do a trip to Ireland next, or like a spring. So
Great.
it's like, sure, yeah. And she's like, well, where do you want to go in Ireland? This is not Dublin. Or like, I don't want to go to Northern Ireland for sure. And she's like, why? I said, I don't want to see those British people. So I want to go south. Go down by Kilkenny and Cork. And then if I'm smart, I'll ping my family that's still over there and say, who's going to buy me a Irish coffee?
Or a Guinness.
Oh, well, Guinness, they're for free everywhere. But I will say my mom's family, I want to say, is my grandmother's family is from Cork and my grandfather's family is from Kilkenny. And the ones in Cork are still on their rugby team, and like every generation they make like an all-star status member for like the last, whatever generations. And I want to say they own a computer repair company. At least it was back in like 99 or something like that.
So the apple doesn't fall far.
So everything good, Josh?
Is that? Yeah. It's all good. Just paying money for water. It's awesome. Kilkenny, isn't that show about the Canadian? No, Letterkenny. You've never seen Letterkenny?
I don't watch TV.
Oh man, Ivor? No.
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, maybe if you can get that on your Plex, it'd be pretty great. The first couple seasons, anyway.
Gotcha. But I'm tempted to shoot this app over to her just to say, hey, take a look at this. Because here's the real thing. The real place I really want to go in Ireland is only one Irishman ever has won the Nobel Prize for, I want to say it was physics. It was some kind of science thing. But when he got back to the country, in like typical fashion back then, the country said, you are like a national hero. You did this. No other Irishman has ever done this. What can we do for you? And so now his house is like a mini museum, and there's a line going straight from the Guinness factory to his house. So yeah, that's where I would like to visit.
It's got a tunnel.
Yeah. But yeah, she said we can go on the Guinness like warehouse tour. And like, yeah, sure, whatever. I know one thing. I'm not kissing the Blarney Stone. Period.
Are you gonna pee on it?
Because that's what my mom said. That her family members said, "Oh, only idiots kiss that thing. Drunken Irishmen go up there all night and pee on it." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know."
what the Blarney Stone's originally from Scotland, and you have to lie upside down
And be
and
almost hang by your feet. Yeah.
they have to hold your feet or something. It's like
Yeah.
up in the tower of a castle. No, thank you.
Pass.
Yeah, Ivor doesn't do that unless there's a keg at the bottom.
Yeah. So, I guess it's time for me to do an app. Okay. I'm going to bring an app. Okay. I did look at my Google opinion rewards the other day. And I noticed I had like 20 something bucks. So I just got to start spending some money. You know what I mean? I just got to. So, this first app, I'm going to say like this. It kind of has that vibe. It's like it has that vibe. And the vibe that it has to me is almost like Monument Valley-esque vibes, which is a very good vibe in my experience to associate yourself with. This is a puzzler type game that looks like almost hand drawn, is what I'll say. And it's basically you're walking around and you're basically having to figure out puzzles, not die, not get smashed, not get set on fire, stuff like that. And your goal is to make it back to your love. Is the whole point of the game. I want to say when I got it, it was like $2.20 on sale, maybe. But again, this is one of the apps I had on my wish list for a while. When I saw it on sale, I said, I might as well. So I pulled the trigger, and it's definitely one of those ultra relaxing games where you can just chill, and you could like literally listen to YouTube. You could listen to Jeopardy, and maybe get a question right to and play this game.
Which one did you say that it was like?
Monument Valley in its like
Valley.
in its like calmness, peacefulness, puzzleness. But also Monument Valley has a good story behind it if you actually play it.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of as well. I thought, and then I was thinking you said Stardew Valley, and
I might have actually said that knowing me. But yeah. Monument
it's a
Valley.
beautiful looking game.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that now I've always been a Nintendo player from back in the day where I always want a good gameplay. I almost don't care how the game looks, but when I see a game like this, it literally is visually just appealing. And it's a pretty good game is what I'll say. Yeah, I got it for $1.99. Regular price down here was $4.50.
It's $2.89 up here, regular $5.99.
Yeah. It's by Somnum Games. Okay, sure, yeah. Updated February 29th, 2024. Requires 6.0 Android and up. 10,000 plus downloads. Content rating: everyone with some mild fantasy violence. Permissions, really not a lot of permissions. Network access, network connections, control vibrations, Google Play license check. So there you go. No ads, no in-app purchases.
Sorry guys, I'm losing power on my laptop for some reason. I've got it plugged in, but it's not charging. And the battery's going down. I've got 30 minutes left. Don't know what's causing
The
that.
heroes
But anyway,
dear,
if I
Michael,
disappear now, you
asked
know
the
why.
hero to hurry because a long journey was ahead of them.
Let's get some stuff moving. Josh, you have apps you'd like to bring?
Sure. This one I mentioned before.
What? Hey?
And
You got the right show, Josh?
They marveled at the serene world the artist drew for them.
So I was going to talk about Aurora, which I don't know if it's ever been brought in before, but according to this, it's the Aurora store, an unofficial FOSS client to Google Play with an elegant design and privacy. So it allows users to download, update, and search for apps like the Play Store, and it works perfectly fine with or without Google Play services or Micro G. I don't even know what that is. So it's an open source, de-Googlified Play Store, and I haven't. You do run into some problems. Like I use FreshBooks for my accounting software, and it requires the Google Play Store or Google Play services. And so there's apps like that that I've run into that I can't run without putting Google Play services on my phone, which I'm just trying to not do that. But it may come down to eventually that I need to. But with the Graphene OS, you can create different users as well.
Right. Exactly.
And I think that all the apps are sandboxed.
Right.
Any app that you install. But I found this is quite interesting, as that it bypasses the need to log in to Google Play. So I don't know if they just have several accounts with Google, and then you order something from this store and it reaches out with their account and slides the APK into your phone, or how it actually works, because I definitely didn't read anything about it. Somebody mentioned it and I installed it. So,
Well, I will say I had an APK downloader browser plugin at one point in time. That was back when I never stayed logged in to Google. I mean, that was like back in the day when I would log into Gmail, get my mail, and then log out. And I was able to get URLs to paths that was from the install button, at least back in the day, and I could put them in there and it would still download. So I think as long as they have the path, they might be able to get it. So Google might not even know, maybe, unless it's a paid app, maybe. They need to know who it is.
That's where I'm at right now, actually, is that I haven't had a chance to look into any paid apps that I have, like that knot tying app. I really want to put that on this phone, and I'm not sure how that works as far as being able to slide it in here. I probably will have to have Google Play services, I'd imagine, on the phone.
Wouldn't shock me. Yeah, but if you do that, even if you use it, but I know in Graphene, when you do the users, you can say, I want to install the Google Play service into that user account, and then install your app into that user account, and it shouldn't be affecting the other parts of the phone.
But you can also, if I read correctly, you can install from that account to a different one as well.
Nice.
But then how does it work as far as having I don't know. Yeah. Things.
Yeah.
Well, what I'd like to know is if you're trying to get rid of Google Play services and de-Googlefy your life, why does Graphene OS only work on a Pixel phone?
Oh, it doesn't. It's only the ones they're just the ones that are supported.
So I could technically install it on any phone.
You can try it on any phone, but they only support the Pixel devices, and that's something to do with the hardware, I would imagine, or somehow they're piggybacking off of the Google updates. So I think it might be something like Mint,
right?
Is piggybacking off Ubuntu. So whenever Google makes updates, then Graphene can take those updates and use them to update the core Android features.
Right.
I could be talking straight out my bum here, which I
No. Just how there was Chrome, then there's Chromium. There was Android, and then there was Android something, and it was without all of the Google stuff. And that was what you could download if you didn't want to agree with the Google license. I want to say the old app called the Kitchen Sink would use that version of Android. I can't remember what it's called, to build. Like you would, with the Kitchen Sink, you would literally say, I have a Motorola, I have a Moto G 2023, and then after that, it would literally build it right there from source on the fly and give you your custom Android de-Googlified Android OS. But then as soon as you did install it, usually you would have to go install what Micro G is. Micro G is like one of those little packages you can get on, oh man, I can't remember the other alternative Android OS you can put on phones. I hate the company because they stole everyone's code. But
Microsoft.
No. They changed their names also like 6 years ago. I can't remember what it's called now, but because it is illegal to distribute the Android OS and the Google Play services as one complete package. Only Google can do that. So you can download the open source AOSP. Thank you, Chuck. You're the man. You can download AOSP, and then you can download separately Google Play services, or Micro G would be a smaller version of that where it doesn't have all the features kind of thing. But yeah, so AOSP is probably what they use.
It's only one tentacle. The
Yeah.
Micro G is just like one coming in.
Yeah. But I know with AOSP, you would not get a lot of the specific hardware optimizations, but with kitchen sink you would get that. So what I'm guessing is graphene. There's ones that they custom support because supposedly even back then, even back in like 2015, you needed a beast of a rig with like 6 terabytes. No, maybe not terabytes. Whatever. A lot of hard drive space, and you literally needed like 64 gigs of RAM in order to build this, because you literally had to build from source every time. So only certain people had those rigs back then.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Terabytes. Yeah, it was like six. Yeah, it was like 6 terabyte hard drive back in like 2015.
Wow.
Which nobody had, so you had like 5 drives stacked together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting concept, though. I mean, to be able to just determine. So it's determining the hardware of the phone and then compiling the operating system specific to the hardware.
Well, that was what Kitchen Sink used to do. And it wouldn't shock me if Graphene OS is having their own kitchen sink specifically built for the Pixel devices. And that's it. And then they have generic builds where you can, try to put it on your phone, hey, see what happens.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I know I've kind of wrestled with that as well. Like having a Google phone to de-Googlify, and then when you boot it up, it still shows the Google splash screen before it goes to the Graphene OS splash screen. So there's always that too.
Yeah, that was always harder to overwrite, if I remember.
So that's just in the ROM, like it's.
It matters on different phones. It's in different places. It's rarely baked into like a ROM chip where it's like not writable. But it's typically
somewhere that
you might be able to.
I imagine Graphene wouldn't want the Google splash screen to come up before theirs does.
Well,
that's that Micro G hook still in there.
Yeah. That's the A in the 6A.
Hey.
Very cool. So what do you got next there, Ivor?
I've got an app called Little Big Shed. I've been doing a lot of building lately. I've got a shed that I'm building down in the garden. It's taken me 6 months. And half of my problem is I don't have the right tools. And tools are expensive. So if you, so basically a whole bunch of people have a whole bunch of tools sitting in the garages that they don't use very often. So if you want to lend your tools out to someone, this is an app to do that. You can lend them out, or you can sell them, or you can book time on it. So let me just read what this is all about. I have installed this and tried using it, but there's no one in my area, because I live in the middle of nowhere, that actually uses this app. The closest people who use this app are 400 kilometers away in Auckland. But if you're living in North America, then I think this is a really good option for you. So you can lend. So 80% of household items we own are used, items that we own are used less than once a month. So you can lend your stuff out. You can borrow. There's stuff you can use. You just basically earn money off your tools that aren't being used. You can rent them out to people. And often the people who want to use them just want to have a one-off use. They don't have they need to go and buy a whole set of tools for it. So we've got version 1.0 requires Android 5 and up, rated for 12 plus. I don't know why you have to be 12 to use this, but anyway, I suppose it's interacting with people. It shares your location and user interaction. So obviously, last update 11th of July. It's got 1 download. It's probably me. 1+ downloads.
No wonder there's nobody around you.
Use the location, photos, media files, obviously, and storage. Use the Wi-Fi and other connections as well. So hopefully one day I will actually get to use this. But in the meantime, if there's anybody else there who's got a project on at home, then you can check this app out and find what you need without having to spend a fortune.
Very cool. I will say, if you're in North America and you bought your tools from Harbor Freight, don't list them in this app. That's my pro gamer experience there.
This is
Why is that?
Well, Tracy Holtz explained it to me best. He said if your tool breaks while you're using it, you go and you buy that replacement tool from Harbor Freight. And then if you don't use that tool, and then like a year and a half later you try to use it as it breaks, well, you only spent the Harbor Freight money. But if you use it and it's only like 3 months later and it breaks, well, then you need to go get a real serious tool, because Harbor Freight tools are no longer good for you because you use your tools enough to where you need something that can actually, do the job, kind of thing.
Harbor Freight has inexpensive,
That's a nice way to put it.
not great quality.
Like,
or if you didn't know.
I needed a power drill for a thing, and I went to Harbor Freight. It was $15 for the power drill. And as long as it worked, the time I got home, plugged it up, and right there, I got like half my value right there, because I'm not going to need it again for at least months and months.
This is
but then you
go ahead.
Sorry, you Karen. No, you go ahead, Joe.
I was gonna say, this is what's known as a tool library or a tool co-op library.
Yeah.
I think they're becoming more and more popular.
Hell yeah. I mean, honestly,
Right.
I love the idea of it, because I have a really tiny yard, a really tiny this. The garage is filled with, 3D printers and Barbie dolls. To which she says basically one day when she needs money, she's going to start selling those Barbie dolls. I know there's a couple cha-ching worth good money. Yeah, stuff like that. So I love the idea of, well, what if I needed to do this and I don't want to go spend, $80 buying this. I'll just go here, spend 20, rent it for a while. What I would really feel better about is if both parties had to put like credit card information in, and then if you break my tool, I can get my money.
You pay for it.
Yeah,
exactly.
I would like that, but I digress, because that's a different thing.
If it accepted Bitcoin.
If it was on the blockchain,
Ding, 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 ding.
Ethereum.
No Ethereum.
No Ethereum.
Bitcoin.
Very cool. Very cool.
For one thing, this one it's not compatible with any of my devices.
Oh.
Is it? Oh.
But my new phone's not on here, so it's not compatible, I'm guessing, with Android 10, which was on the Huawei.
Well, if I had to guess, that's why we're seeing not one install. What almost every developer does, and I finally heard somebody admit this, and I can't remember what show it was on now. Damn. But whenever you release an Android app, you always release it in only selective markets and only selective devices. And then until you feel like it's stable and it's working good, then you slowly expand who can install it and where it can be installed, because the last thing you want is to reach this thing globally, and then the next morning you wake up having 150 people emailing you saying it crashed. You know what I mean? Unless, of course, you're a rookie developer and you don't care.
Test it on the Kiwis. That's what I say.
Yeah, that's probably what they're doing. Yeah. Suckers like us. Yeah, I looked at an impact driver drill from I think it was DeWalt. It was like $350 just for the driver, not the battery, not the charger. You had to buy those separately as well. $350.
Wow.
I can believe it.
Yeah.
You should look into Little Big Shed.
I should move to Canada. That's what I need to do.
Yeah, man, we got room. Come on.
Is the house next to you for sale? Come and be your neighbor.
Well, there's usually there's one down the road. I think it's that one might be 20 acres.
Oh,
They-
nice. That's
they
what I need. 20
cleared,
acres.
they
Yeah.
cleared to do what I had heard they were going to do a vineyard back there. And they had the house for about a year, and it's up for sale again. So I think they ran out of
Mm.
money, and now it's time to move on.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm gonna bring another game that I did buy. Right now, it's purchasable in the U.S. for $2.49. It was $4.99. It is called Dicey Dungeon, and I will say, this is I believe 99% sure a PC first game that was then after the fact ported to Android. And I will say, um, this is the kind of game. Honestly, I like, for some reason, I like games where I can literally see the dice and use the dice and play with the dice. In some games, you have what is called basically like deck building systems, where you get number of cards that you can use as a turn. In this one, what happens is you get number of dice, and you can get more dice down the road. You can earn extra dice, kind of thing, by powering up, kind of thing. And every time you have an encounter with somebody, um, you basically have to put your dice roll, and they're out in front of you. Then you put your dice in the correct spot, in air quote, to pick the correct action to do high enough damage and to do high enough evades and all this other kind of stuff to kill your enemy and move forward, kind of thing. Insanely, I mean, this is the kind of game I like because it requires zero brain power at all. Quite literally, numbers, and everything that is attack or whatever or defense only has literally like 2 words. So it's very easy to completely understand. I'll say first time that you play it, but there is some addictive nature and replayability because it has the mechanics where every time the game starts, the field's like randomly generated, and there is permadeath in it to where you can play it on like super hard mode, kind of thing. Yeah, because right now this is in the top 2 role-playing games on Android. One-time purchase, no ads, no in-app purchases. This is the perfect kind of game that when I buy it, so I know down the road I'm bored, I'll have this game always right there in my queue, ready to rock and roll and play for at least a couple hours. There's no doubt I can get at least a couple hours of good fun out of this one. Yeah. Currently 4.2 ratings, 50,000 plus downloads. Eligible for the family library version 2.1.0, updated August 22nd, 2023. Requires 4.1 Android and up. Everyone 10 and up fantasy violence, originally released July 7th, 2022. Permissions. It's a game. They always want lots of permissions. That's all there is to it. But yeah, I mean, just watch the trailer to it, and if you want to, just go watch on like Steam or something the trailer to it, and you'll get the gist of it, I think, pretty quickly.
Great. Looks great.
Yeah.
Speaking of fantasy violence, here's another. Am I allowed to swear?
Hopefully not too bad.
So here's a game I found called Bloody Bastards, and it's a ragdoll physics game that involves medieval combat. So it was right up my teenage son's alley, and I had one game of it, and I was very impressed, I have to say, because it's the controls are really easy to get handle on, and it's a lot of fun. It's very gory, a lot of violence. There's a lot of blood, and the sound effects are really good, and there's lots of oohs and ahs and stuff like this. So the premise of the game is basically you start off as this semi-naked peasant. You get a shield and a knife. You have to fight another semi-naked peasant, similarly armed, and you basically have to stab each other to death. And the first one to die loses, obviously, and then you move on. You gradually upgrade all your equipment and armor and stuff like that. I sent it off to my son. He hasn't played it yet, but I had a lot of fun with it. So this one, let's have a look at the stats on it.
A lot.
I don't know why they call it Bloody Bastards, but there you go. Version
Because they have no
4.1.3.
moms. That's why.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. If it requires Android 5.1 and up, in-app purchases $5.49 per item. That's New Zealand dollars, remember. Updated on the 22nd of April. 10 million plus downloads.
Ooh.
Rated for 16 plus. Strong violence. First released on the 31st of January 2020. Permissions, phone, Wi-Fi, device ID, and network access, basically. Oh, not too bad, actually. Yeah, a lot of fun. If you're into medieval combat and blood, this is your Huckleberry.
And half naked peasants.
And half naked peasants.
Yeah, I'll say first off, this violates one of my golden rules. The icon for the app is a guy with an open mouth. That I just that just
No.
it's literally like
Yep.
fingers on a chalkboard for me. I can't stand. I'm sorry. But I'll also say, you almost had me going because you were pausing. You were hesitant. I thought you were going to say the first one that dies wins. And I'm like, wow, this is a different kind of game.
Okay.
And the way I'll describe this to the listener is, and this is not in a bad way, because I've seen more than a couple now indie games with this same style that are definitely worth playing. It is almost like a flash based looking. And what I mean by that is the animation is there, the motion is there. It isn't crazy realistic. It's definitely almost like you're playing with like cardboard cutouts kind of thing. And with the ragdoll physics, like stuff is floating and flying and flapping around. But yeah, I mean, this is good, like Gladiator-esque. I'm sure it's going to be better than Gladiator 2, the movie. I mean,
You said that it was rated 16 and up.
Yeah.
That's so weird, man. Here it's 17.
Yeah, same here.
Is it? Oh, okay.
So apparently New Zealand teenagers are more mature than
Yes.
Canadian or American teenagers. Got it.
Yeah, we're used to this sort of. We do this sort of thing for real. So this is a Tuesday for us.
Is that Ivor in his half naked peasant outfit? Or is just more testing on the Kiwis?
We're all just half naked peasants. More testing on the Kiwis as well. Yeah, everything gets tested here.
So are you the tester or the testee?
Huh.
I swing between them.
Oh, you're the king? What are you talking about?
Come on, this is a family show.
It was. So
Not
do you have
being
any?
asked if I could swear.
Right. Well, you just do when you feel like it. Do you have any apps there, Josh?
It's not an app, but I know that Ivor would be pretty upset if we didn't talk about something Noster. And so this is hivetalk.org. And you can install it as a web app. And it is video and talkie and the ability to record. So I haven't used it yet, but it would be I'd like to give it a go, and it all runs on using your Noster key pairs identity.
Right.
So is that all you have to put in? Just Noster key, public key.
Yeah, if I think that you don't even have to. I don't even think you have to put that in. I think you can just there's a as well.
It gives you a unique key, randomized unique key in the beginning. You just say join now, and then you can send invite links out. So yeah, what this is.
Yeah.
So I'm sure what this is using. This is WebRTC, and it's using the Noster network for connectivity. Because it's efficient at that, and WebRTC is very efficient at either doing desktop sharing or video sharing kind of stuff. Very cool. Yeah, I'm going to give this a shot, a try, a jiggery pokery. Because right now we use video.ninja, and there's nothing wrong with video.ninja, but I always know I gotta keep my options open. Now technically I know there's a way I could download Video Ninja and run it myself. I don't want to do that because what that means is my connection will be superb. Joss's connection will be okay, and Ivor's connection will be garbage.
As
If
usual.
if I host it myself, if other people are hosting it, their networks are much stronger and better than mine. You know what I mean? And they can have networks hosted in different places to give a more equal, I'll say, representation of connections.
Are you? I haven't seen anything from you in a while on Noster, either of you. But I also, it's hard with that flow too, because if you miss something,
I know it's gone.
it's gone. So that's one of the things that I would like to see would be like almost
A higher level of subscription is what I want to see.
well, yeah, or what am I trying to say, man?
I'll tell you right now. What you want is like the old Google Plus circles, to where you could say, these are all. I'm following this person for aggro stuff. I'm following this person because they post really good memes. I'm posting this because it's my friends. And then you could say, when launching it, I want to see my friends' feed right now. And there won't be as many stuff.
Yeah, that, or even just being able to put almost a priority number on it, so you could say, oh, this person is a 5, and it'll show you first, and then be able to sort it that way and make sure that you get everything from somebody.
The only bad part about that is if a government employee tries to use it, they're going to try to mark everything as a priority 1 because they don't understand the definition of the word priority.
But you can filter who you look at. Like you can do a global feed, or you can go to followers, or you can just go to a single follower or person that you're following. You don't have to use the global feed all the time.
Oh no, I don't. I never use the global feed.
Oh, global feed is like,
but what I mean is, even if I'm following 400 people or something now. But if Ivor posted something, I would like that to kind of bubble up to the top of my feed when I check it. That's what I mean.
But I mean, that's kind of the point of Noster, though, isn't it? It doesn't curate what you see. It doesn't try and guess what you're interested in.
Right, you're the one that's curating it.
Right.
And so I'm just talking about a little more curation control to be able to customize it even further.
Right. Well, I mean, it's still young. These are the kind of things that we need to send feedback to them.
We love you too, Chuck.
Yep.
But are you done with it, Ivor? You're out?
So I kind of I nuked my phone the other day and paved it, and I got rid of a lot of things. I got rid of email. I didn't check my email for 3 weeks. I left it off my phone. When I checked my email after 3 weeks, there were 106 emails there, 2 of which I was interested in reading.
Yeah.
So I'm living the minimal life at the moment on my phone, trying not to have it interfere with my everyday real life, if you know what I mean.
I do. That's what I've been trying to do as well. Like I have Proton Mail on my phone, but I don't have Gmail or anything. And the Proton Mail, it seems to just kind of close. So I'll go days and days and days with it till I get an email or a text message. Hey man, can you check your email?
Yeah, it needs to die. Email needs to die.
Oh, I was looking up something. You guys had talked about SMS. I see here going through, and you brought up Futo. But do you guys know the SMS? I'm assuming that's a protocol.
Basically, yes.
Yep.
And I was looking. I did a quick search earlier to find the documentation on that protocol, but it's not. I mean, again, it was only 2 minutes I spent doing it, but it didn't pop up at the beginning of a search. Just as far as what is possible with SMS, what type of.
Well, now the protocol is a state secret. It's kept locked in the Federal Reserve.
You got to remember how old that protocol is. Number one, quite literally, it was the original one. Because remember back in the day when you would get text messages that were too long, I would type out a message that long, you would get 3 different text messages
Yeah.
because they exceeded the maximum limit kind of thing. So original SMS was literally just text. Then you did not get any video, any pictures, anything until we went past normal SMS. And I'm trying to remember what the second one was called. Because with that one was when you could do extra stuff, but really it was just patch on top of SMS.
Yeah,
Um,
MMS, I think it was.
we're finally, you're right, MMS. But we're finally moving to RCS, which is supposedly much more modern standards, much more friendly. You can see if the other person's typing, kind of thing.
Okay, so most of the messages that we're getting aren't SMS anymore.
If you're using a modern day messaging app, I would say when it goes across from like you to an iPhone, most of the time it's still going back to SMS.
And that's why it doesn't work at all. It's so ridiculous.
Well,
And
the
that's
example I give is my
yes.
the example I give is my mother-in-law just put her rental house on the market for sale. The person doing the sale lives down the street from me, two of the best people I've ever met in my life, and they're real estate agents. I don't know how that happened. Well, actually, no, they're not real estate agents. They're real estate brokers because they said, we're not working for you anymore. We're starting our own business. And they made this gorgeous video. And then when my sister-in-law on an Apple device sent it to my wife on an Android device, the video was literally like 320 resolution. And that's when it goes from that conversion back basically to SMS and MMS formats.
Okay, because I get iPhone videos. Like my wife sends me iPhone videos, and they're just garbage.
Yeah.
It's just trash.
Right. You
that's
can't even
cool.
like read the words. Yeah.
And then RCS, is that kind of trying to standardize the two? Is that
Oh yeah. With RCS, you will automatically be able to see if the other person read it. The read receipts come naturally. You have to turn them off if you don't want them. You'll automatically see if the person read it. No. If they received it, then you'll automatically see if the person read it. Then you can also get high, I'll call it like high bit rate content. You know what I mean? Everything from emojis to actual video kind of stuff.
okay.
Also with RCS, one of the giveaways is when you send and receive stuff, if it's a link, you'll sometimes see previews right there.
Okay, right.
The other thing is, if you're using Google Messages, RCS pictures are going to be compressed. And this is one thing Apple doesn't do. This is why there's, I think, reason for the incompatibility between the two. Google's compressing the photos and messages it sends, so that when you receive it at the other end, it's shite, and then Android users, iOS users, don't have the same experience. So even if you still get RCS on iOS, the iOS users are going to have the better experience unless Google fixes it soon.
So the iPhone does that? The iPhone does the compression?
No, the iPhone doesn't compress. The Google Messages does.
Oh.
So if you're using Google Messages to send a picture to an iPhone user, the iPhone user is going to have a crappy experience at the other end. They're going to go.
So they get crappy images, we get crappy videos.
Yeah.
That sounds crappy all the way around.
Yeah. Crapalicious.
Crapalicious.
Yeah.
Show title right there. Crapalicious.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to bring this, and it's actually not an app, but it's a news item. And I was purposely waiting for Josh to come back to the show. I'll read that message, Tim, in the chat really soon. Back in the day, we were promised, go to the App Store, download this app, and you can install Linux on your phone. And it never was actually installing Linux on your phone. A little, spinny hat, whatever it's called, propeller hat thing going on really quick right now. What it would do was, Android is already running the Linux kernel. What it would do is it would create what's called a chrooted environment, which means it's not running real Linux. it's running almost like an emulated environment on top of your Android. If it was actually installing Linux, well, then at boot time, you would have a choice. Do you want to install, do you want to run Linux or Android? And then if you want to run one inside the other, it would be like an emulation or something like that, or a container or a jail or something. Back in the day, it always installed on this rooted environment, and it was always horrible performance because it was a ARM processor and not a normal Linux related processor, which would be a x86 processor kind of thing. Some of these stuff just didn't work at all. So it was always a really bad experience, but technically you could get it to work. But then what would happen is you would run the rooted environment and you would have to almost like remote in to the desktop. And whenever you would remote into a desktop, you'd always lose quality, lose bit rate, lose speed. So it was always a really bad experience. Lindroid promises to put actual Linux onto Android, and this was literally just published June 18th, 2024. So what they promise is you'll actually be able to install this and get an actual true Linux environment on your phone. One of the golden rules, knowing this is more real than less, is you need to have a rooted phone. So if your phone ain't rooted, this ain't going to work. And if you really want to install something base before Android on the phone, then you really do need root. So I'm going to be interested to see when this gets better, tighter, past version 0.01 kind of thing. And then I want to give it a try, see if it's actually usable or not. My hope is that it actually is, because I would love to run like some little automation stuff and some little Linux related stuff on the back end of my device, either doing maintenance like deleting logs, clearing logs, or just stuff that will make me feel better about using my phone.
Hasn't this been tried before? Something's telling me this is not new.
Oh no! Well,
rooted environments. We just went over this, Ivor.
Sorry.
Well, the difference is they promise to do it better. So
okay.
We'll have to wait and see if it's actually better. You know what I mean? But I want this really bad just because I love the idea of being able to run my stuff literally that I could write myself on my phone without having to pay for a cert from Google and post it in the Play Store. And no, I don't want to have to do that just to run my code kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people would love a Linux phone.
Well, graybeards, yeah. And Tim is a really smart guy. I can tell you. He says SMS is not. Yeah, it isn't an internet protocol. You're right, because it's not an internet thing. It's a protocol used by the carriers. It uses used data channel sideband. Right, exactly, from the cell network. Right, so it would literally run beside. So even if you were only getting a speck of data speed on your phone, literally like a 2G phone, the SMS protocol would still work fine in air quote, because literally it's just clear text. Data channel only used loud. So many people, many bytes per packet. Yeah, and they were really. I mean, this was like archaic packets where it was. I want to say it was less than like 60 characters. So yeah. My guess is because they were on the not internet, they were on their carrier network. They didn't have enough error correction or stuff to make it really functional back in the day.
Well, I think a lot of it was the intercompatibility between networks. So if you're switching between one network to another, you couldn't have more than a certain number of characters. Yeah,
that too. Yes, absolutely.
Back in the old days.
Yeah, back when I had a Nokia phone that could kill people. Yeah. Speaking of that, with the new teenager in my house, not going into the story now. We're thinking about buying him a phone, but I don't want to get him like a crack addict phone. If I get him a phone, I really want it to be as useless as possible. Nokia is starting to release some of their older looking devices with just slightly updated interfaces that I might have to buy for him, even though it's like $300. Yeah, because now I don't know if you guys know, at least in America and in the UK, the top tier private school, whatever, just banned cell phones in school. We are now having
same here.
Starting to ban. Now, here's what I hate. Okay, if school is preparing people for life, number one, stop giving them homework. because I don't bring work home and I will never bring home work. 2, I can use my phone at work unless I work at the NSA or if I'm a teacher. Okay. Um, so it's very unfair, in my opinion, to take away the phones from the kids, considering school is supposed to be preparing them for life. But I digress. I'm sure as a teacher, they love it. If I was a teacher, oh yeah, take the phones away. But I
Yeah,
don't
but
like.
you and I both know, as the parents of teenagers, Dor, that these phones are a massive distraction to kids
Well, of course,
learning.
they're massive distraction to everybody. Hence my wife and her doom scrolling. But I digress. Kids have to learn to cope with things.
Absolutely, yes.
Somehow taking it away
It's
from
not the
them is
phone; it's the social media that's on the phone. They've
well,
got to
and
get
it's
off that
and it's
social
the
media.
kid's ability to understand, pause, put it down. Real world interactions are sometimes good.
Look at the horizon.
Yeah, kind of
Breathe
thing.
fresh air.
For brainwashing over here. Listen to your teachers, damn it. Put the phone away.
Well, I know, and that's the whole thing, man. I honestly feel for them, but at the same time, I don't care because I'm not a teacher. Um, I know my kid has a problem. One of my kids has a severe problem with his phone. The other kid, he really does just listen to music on his phone. He really doesn't do a lot of YouTube and stuff. He watches YouTube, but not crazy amount. Where my youngest, it's literally like a disease.
Mm.
And
I
it's
think
like,
it's a lot of people. I mean, you see kids. I mean, my kid's only 5. Well, he'll be 6 in 4 days. But he, I mean, you see kids that young with phones sometimes.
yeah, to me, that's ridiculous. I mean, my logic was I'll get my kid a phone when my kid is old enough to go out the door by himself and he's walking to school by himself. I want him to have a phone, because I can location track him. So I always feel better about that. But in case of an emergency, he can actually call me. I mean, that's what I really would like. Um, I'm getting to the point to where, and look, I'm letting him enjoy it now because why? A 15-year-old dude, enjoy this time of life. Enjoy it. But pretty soon, I'm literally just going to start randomly just taking it away from him for 2 or 3 hours at a time and making sure he doesn't watch YouTube on the Chromebook, making sure he doesn't watch YouTube on the Chromecast, and making sure he doesn't go upstairs and watch YouTube on the uh, Wii U. And just tell him, dude, you got to do something. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you go in the bathroom, close the door, and you come out an hour later. I don't care. You got to do something.
Probably cleaning the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely what he's doing.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's my logic. Because it's one of those lessons learned. It's like teaching a kid how to use money and the value of money. If they don't, then as soon as they get money, they don't even care what they're spending it on. $40 Grubhub thing for only costs like $16 kind of things, so they have to learn somehow, period. By taking their phone away, no.
I don't know. I think we're all the same vintage here. And I mean, we're children of the 80s when it comes down to it. And it's just amazing the difference of, I mean, I think were we the first generation of the latchkey kids?
Yeah.
Just the parents not caring where you are, and you just go out and then come back, and then
And you'd be out all weekend or all day,
Oh,
all
my mom
holidays,
would,
and
my
come
mom would
back at
kick
dinner
us out of
time.
the house.
Oh,
She'd say,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of you guys. Don't come back till it's dinner time.
And so then, I mean, I look back at that, and of course, it's the old man yelling at the clouds, but there's just not as much of that. And is it because of the fact that there are all of these bad people now that we're afraid are going to take our children or do whatever? Or is it just because now we are bombarded with these stories of children going missing or, whatever other type of terrorist activities are going on, and therefore we're afraid to let our children out without, helicopter parenting them So I mean, I don't know what the point of this tirade is, but it just seems that there's just such a difference between what we were doing and what kids are doing now, and I'm just wondering what that's going to do to society in general, and is it going the right way?
Well,
Is society ever going the right way?
and who
So,
defines right is what I'll say. I'll say
Yeah.
there is a correlation I can tell you that is true, not a causation. We're not sure about that, but I guarantee you is a correlation. It's exactly like how back in the 50s, the dinner plate size was only like 6 to 7 inches across. Now in America, the dinner plate is 8 to 10 to sometimes 12 inches across.
What's
Why
the
are we
logic?
gaining weight? I don't know. But I'll also say our house sizes has also increased a lot from the late 70s, early 80s, to where it's very easy now for your kid to go up in the room, you be doing something and never even hear the kid. And never even is a kid alive kind of thing. So there's enough
Did you guys
room.
ever share a room with your siblings?
Oh
With any of
yeah.
your siblings?
I
Yeah,
beat the crap
that
out of
was
him
quite
so
common in
much.
that time.
Oh my good.
You wouldn't hear of it today though. People
Well,
don't share rooms today.
my two did only for a couple months when we first moved into the house, just because we already had bunk beds. We got them free from somebody. It turns out they were like $1,000 value bunk beds, or really sturdy, really good bunk beds. So yeah, for the very beginning they did, and then it wasn't too long to where my oldest was like, "Dad, I mean, I'm not gonna like do any violence against him, but I really want to kill him. I need to move out of that room." Oh, okay, yeah. I got you, son. So yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah. And honestly, that's why I think me and my wife made it through COVID so good. The house was big enough. She could do her thing. I could do my thing, and we didn't bother each other. You know what I mean? I wasn't
Yeah, I mean, you have a lot more
completely
space.
whining against her, and she wasn't completely whining me. Where if we were in my parents' house, because in my parents' house, we had 5 people in that house. In this house, we only have 4. We had 4. Now we have 5, whatever. But I mean, that house was technically not even called, it was a ranch house, but it was so small, it was technically called a bungalow. And it was like, oh,
yeah.
man.
Well, I went back to my old childhood home a few months ago when my cousin from the UK was visiting, and we visited my old where we used to live, and it was tiny. It was absolutely tiny. It's a little 3-bedroom house, and we thought it was a fairly big house, but look at it today. It's like it's a shack. It's a shed. And I never had my own bedroom,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
my
I mean,
parents did.
oh yeah.
They had their own separate bedrooms.
Yes. So I definitely think that was part of it. Because I remember even like I didn't even have a TV in my room until I want to say I was like 14 years old. And it was literally like something that was sitting on the side of the street that somebody was throwing
Right.
out. And I just brought it home to see if it would work. And it was like a 14-inch, like a 12-inch TV. And I could at least hook the NES up to that and play my games kind of thing.
But that was okay. Like a 12
Yeah,
inch
we didn't die.
Like, oh, great. It's color. Holy moly.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, when they had the little tiny ones, they came out with like I don't even know what it was, a 2.5, 3-inch TV antenna. And that was peak technology as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Now I'm pretty sure every kid has like a 27 or 30-inch TV in their room.
Absolutely.
Because they're so cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, ridiculously. I mean,
I wouldn't even watch a TV under 60 inches now.
I mean, that's the thing. We go to the BJ's Wholesale Club, and they have like 67-inch TVs on sale for like $4 something. I'm like, man.
That's $1,200 for you, Ivor.
Yeah. Well, and remember back in the day, we got like a 33-inch TV for the living room, and it was like $2,000. Back
I've got
then,
a 55-inch plasma sitting out there, and I've had for like maybe 10, 12 years. No, even more than that. 20 years.
yeah,
Still works, still fine.
Yeah.
I never watch it. Never use it.
Well, that's one reason why it still works.
Probably.
Plasma's not just oozing out of it yet.
Yeah, no.
No, not yet. No.
Okay. We are going on now 2 hours. So, do we have any extra apps that we just must share?
I've got one app, and I only share it because I have some questions, perhaps,
Mm.
about it. And it's called NTFY. And it's I think you might have brought this one fairly recently, Dor.
Yeah. Nifty.
Yeah, put post to your phone, and so it's a notifications app. When I installed Amethyst on Graphene, there was no notifications. I don't know if you just can't set notifications on. No, because there are other apps that ask for if you want notifications when you install them, but for some reason Amethyst, you needed some other app to receive notifications from it, and so this is the one that I had found. And basically, I opened it, and I don't even remember the process. Clicked yeah, okay, and then
Right.
got notifications.
I mean, even when you're not on your network.
What do you mean?
Well, because this says you can put or post to your phone from like Bash terminal or PowerShell scripts. So you can set up automation routines to send notifications is what it sounds like.
Right, but this is off the network. I mean, it's as far as I can tell, it's just interacting with Amethyst or whatever else you set it up with.
Uh-huh.
It was definitely a weird setup. I remember not understanding anything that was going on, like most of the things that I do.
Well, as long as it works. 220, 221, whatever it takes.
Yeah, so that's about it. I mean, unless you have some other it just has some sort of hook. Amethyst must have some sort of hook that grabs onto this, and then this allows for notification.
Honestly, I cannot remember. It does ring a bell. It does sound familiar. And I look at the description of it. I do believe this was something I did bring, but I can't remember when. It's been that long ago. But it definitely worked. I remember that because what I was doing was I was saying on whenever that camera would get a motion detector, it would send a thing over the network, and I was having it run and sending me a notification when that happened. But I do remember, yes, during the setup, there was something you had to do to basically enable. Yeah, there's like a third party thing needed to make it go, is what I'll say. Yeah. And back then, everyone was using like Twitter based clients for it.
Yeah, it's sort of an if this then that.
Right.
type
Right.
of
Right.
issue.
Very cool. Okay. So if you don't have anything else, Ivor, I can do at least a attempt at
I've got one. I've
I
got
can
one.
do a rundown,
Yeah.
Dor.
Just found this today.
Oh.
I'm a big Waze. If you ask my kids, I'm a big Waze user. WAZE, which is the direction route finding app. But one thing that both Google Maps and Waze don't do is it optimizes your waypoints if you've got like more than 3 or 4 places you need to go. So this app called Routora or Routora, as I would call it, actually you put in your destination. It integrates with your Waze account or your Google account. You put in the destinations you want to go to, and it will tell you which ones you need to go to in order to save as much time and petrol as possible. And I have not used this yet. As I said, I've only just found this today, but it's something that needs to be built into Google Maps and Waze. I don't know why it isn't. But it's version 1.141, requires Android 5 and up. in-app purchases, $28.99 to $344.99 per item. Wow. Updated on the last update on the 13th of May, 10,000 plus downloads, content rating for 3 plus, released on September 2023. So I will be trying this out over the next week or so, especially once the kids get back to school and have to go back picking them up and running errands and dropping people off and shopping, all sorts of stuff. So I'm looking forward to finding out how this goes. But it's definitely something that some people might find useful.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can't tell if it's using OpenStreetMaps or Google Maps as when it jumped to the navigation, it was definitely Google Maps. I'll say, yeah, on Google Maps, the closest you can get to it is you can pick a destination and then you can say add pit stop, but it will not optimize anything. I can see certain people, at least certain people with certain jobs, needing to optimize a route because the last thing you want to do is just guess.
So it's got an option there for people when you log up, sign up for it. You can get the pro version, and that's for Amazon drivers or UPS drivers and stuff like that. So it will automatically route them around.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan. I definitely see a need for this. I'll say typically I only make like at the most 1 or 2 stops. I rarely have to make more than 2 stops when I'm going someplace. So I don't know if I could take advantage of it, but I'm definitely going to keep it in my queue.
Yeah, I will definitely use it.
Graphene
kids go back to school
with a map. I figured that out when I was trying to find.
Go back to using the old school methods.
Yeah, I was in the back seat.
Man,
okay, tell me where to go.
I can't remember my way to the front door. I need this app.
And of course, I was trying to get Waze to download, and I couldn't get it to download. So we just started driving around the area. He's like, "Yeah, down here." Oh no, not here. Go back. Oh, down here. No, that's not it.
Things we do to get rid of Google out of our life.
Yeah, I'm at the point now. My one friend makes fun of me, but I tell him, look, I have to have navigation because I don't know if there's a major accident. I don't know if there's a detour. I don't know if there's crazy traffic because of something. When I turn on Google to tell me to go someplace, I know at least it's avoiding those kind of things, or even sometimes avoiding bad construction spots kind of thing. I don't like.
My wife seems to have this all built into her brain. She has this inbuilt knowledge of what roads are good, what roads are bad, where everything is. She doesn't need a navigation app, never used one.
Every single
I'm totally opposite.
Yeah. Every single time I have my mother-in-law in the car, who I love, best mother-in-law ever. But she always tells me I'm going the wrong way. No, I'm not.
Yep.
Well, I would have went this way.
What are you going this way for?
That's great. I have my maps turned on for fuel efficiency. Do you? And she just looks at me. What? Yeah, this is the right way. We're fine.
I always say, trust the algorithm, darling.
Well, Waze also has like speed traps and stuff on there too.
Yeah.
So it's more of a community.
Yeah, it's crowdsourced.
Yeah, Google will display the speed traps, but only if they're like verified. So I think I only see like half as much as I would see on Waze from what people tell me.
But then there's also a lot of times I've found where there'll be an accident on there or whatever, and there'll be a car stopped on the side of the road, not blocking traffic, just on the shoulder.
Oh, right. Yeah. One tells me if there are speed bumps coming up.
I hate speed bumps.
Yeah, that's all I got today.
All right.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay.
Rundown door.
Yeah, I think most of them.
I've got all of them if you want me to do it.
How do you got all of them?
Because I went back through and read all of your guys' notes while I was gone.
Oh, dang. Okay.
I think I did. You can double check.
I'm not double checking. I don't get paid to do that. I'm a government employee. That's not my job.
Yeah, right. Do you get to take your
See
shovel?
how easily that tripped off the tongue? It's not my job.
Kind of like I said it before.
Do you get to bring your shovel home, or just get to lean on it at work?
No, I can't lean on. I'm too busy drinking my cup of coffee.
That's right. So there's
Government coffee.
the keyboard app. And then there's a bit of talk about post-market OS and social chess, online chess by Woodchop Software LLC. Octi, monitor and synchronize information between multiple Android devices by Darken, 10,000K installs, not that that matters. Atlas Obscura travel guide by Atlas Obscura. Inked by Somnium Games. NTFY, send notifications to your phone. Aurora Store. Little Big Shed by Little Big Shed, and little is spelled EL in the name of the company. Dicey Dungeons by Terry Kavanaugh. Bloody Bastards by Tibbeth. HiveTalk.org. And then Lindroid promises true Linux on Android. And then the last one that Ivor did, what was that called?
Routora.
Routura. I don't know where that went. I X'd out of it apparently. Routura by, we'll say Routura.
By Routora, yeah.
Nice. I nailed it.
Yep, that's all the ones I've got as well.
Very cool. Very cool. You have any parting words there, Ivor?
Well, anybody on Flipboard? Anybody use a Flipboard? I've been using it for years, to my shame. It's one of these pre-installed apps that comes with your phone usually, but I've been using it now for ages, and I've set up my own Android app, Flipboard, which maybe some people would like to have a look at occasionally. I post apps and our videos that we do from each episode onto it, and news articles about Android apps. So if you're a Flipboard user, follow me on that one.
So what is it? Is it like Pinterest but for guys?
Pinterest for news. You can. It's actually I really enjoy. I use it every day. It gives me all my news. It's you get different articles from lots of different sources, and you can tailor it to the topics you're interested in, like Android or technology or sports or whatever you like. And it's got a nice little, they call it Flipboard because it's got a little flip interface. You can just swipe up on each one, on each article as you read them. And then you can go into the website if you want to go into more detail, or you can share it around or add it. You can create your own boards and add stuff to it. It's a bit like Pinterest for guys. Yeah.
Gotcha. Good to know. Very cool. Josh, you have any parting words?
No, good to see you guys. I say no and then keep talking. It's just ridiculous. No, I don't have anything to say, but let me say this. And then I'll throw an in there too, just for good measure. No, it's good seeing you guys. Always a pleasure. Thanks for everybody that came out. Tim, Red, Chuck, anybody else in the chat tonight on YouTube. Whenever we do this, there is a chat, and it's quite fun. It's much better than listening to us talk, listening to other people write things.
Yeah.
But
It's much better than listening to Josh talk, put it that way.
yeah, I'm just going to stop now. Thanks, Ivor.
Very cool. Very cool. I want to thank everyone for coming out to the live chat. The chat is always fun, unlike some toxic chats I've seen out there, kind of thing. I will also say to Ivor and Josh, thank you very much for coming out. Had a great time as always. And as always, we hope to do this again real soon. So everyone, take it easy.
Bye.
Cheerio.
Live. There you go. Okay.
All right, so
What are
Ivor,
we? Yo.
that Futo, is that the stuff?
I've had a couple of little issues with it, but nothing major. So yeah, I would give it a go. The more you use it, the better it gets. So when you start off, you might end up with some weird typos, but no, it's good. I enjoy it. I enjoy using it as much. I think it's just as good as SwiftKey.
So it has swipe text and all that good stuff.
It has swipe text. Yep.
Okay, I'll be back. Ow.
And then does it do, because this one that I don't even know. What do I have installed on here even? Florist board and open.
Oh yeah, I tried using that one. Yeah, I tried using open board as well. They're all terrible.
And heli board.
I haven't. Oh, maybe I have tried that one. I can't
That's the
remember.
best.
Honestly, I tried so many.
Yeah, me
Tried
too.
all everything on F-Droid. Yeah, it's just what turned me off SwiftKey was they integrated the AI system in it, AI chat or assistant.
Yeah.
So I didn't want that. So I just uninstalled it straight away and said, "Oh," and then I had to use Gboard, and I didn't like that at all, and couldn't really find anything else. It's amazing. And keyboard apps are kind of a vector for bad shit as well. So you have to be quite careful, I think. Anyway.
But does it do that? Because the same thing, like, oh, Billy liked an image, but it puts it in a new text. Like, it's just if it's a group text, it's all jumbled up and it's hard to tell what is going on. Do you remember how we talked about
okay.
it before? Like, it was, I can't remember which one it was, but it just wouldn't do group text very well at all.
Oh, that was Fossify, I think. The SMS app, not the keyboard app. The SMS app. Yeah. So I use QK SMS. That's another open source one. But the QK SMS handles it all right. It's
cool.
Okay, so that should.
Yeah, that's a really good messaging app. Quite a little compact thing. It's got a lot of functionality as well. Great.
Which one? The QK
SMS.
Yeah, I remember I used that one before too, or tried it.
Oh, okay. Didn't like it?
Well, I don't remember. There's seems like there's always something that goes wrong. But that might also be iPhone Android compatibility as well.
Oh, it could be, yeah. Okay. Documents, 603. Yeah, you know that shelf app that I bought last time? The app curator from Sam Beckman.
Oh, yeah, rings a bell, yeah.
Yeah. So he's got a little leaderboard on their little competition sort of thing where you don't win anything, I think, but you have your people who contribute the most, and they go onto this like ranking board. And there's so many these people who are just posting fake reviews and 2 reviews of the same app, or apps they obviously haven't ever used, or they'll put a review on there and they'll just copy the app description from Google Play. I think, why? What have you got to gain from doing this? You're just putting an app review on. You're not getting anything out of it, but you've got to be like number 1 on the leaderboard. Otherwise,
you know what he needs? He needs some AI.
AI?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll fix everything.
As long as it's on the blockchain door.
Well, just like that NGL app, Not Gonna Lie app, that was targeting children. They said, "Oh no, it's all perfectly fine because we've got AI making sure that your children aren't being groomed or bullied. Yeah, right. It never worked.
Not shocked. Well, I mean, more than a couple of them were found out to be nothing more than Turkish, mechanical Turk,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
or
yeah.
quite literally, they just hire groups of Indians and stuff.
Yep.
Which, of course,
Pay them 20 cents a day.
Yeah. Whew, man.
They just say I'm number one on the leaderboard at the moment, and I have not posted any fake reviews.
Gotcha.
That's the shaggy dog story if I've ever heard one. Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm number one.
I mean, I can understand if he was offering cash prize or something like that for the most contributor, or some sort of benefit, but there's nothing. You get nothing.
You get nothing and you like it.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Bugs.
And you'll eat bugs.
Yeah, you eat the bugs.
Did I show you that good meme, Josh? I don't think I showed it to you. It was Captain Jack Sparrow, and it was the guy who was like arresting him, and he was like scolding him, and what it says.
But you have heard of me.
Close, yeah, it is that exact one, right? It's that exact exchange, but it said, "Your code is without a doubt the worst I have ever run, but it does run." It's like,
Right.
yeah, exactly, yes.
Yeah.
I thought that was good. And then I showed this one to my youngest son who loves Reese's cups. Guy gets a genie, and the genie says, "Okay, you only have 3 rules that you can adhere to," which, of course, there you go. And it is no wishing for death, no falling in love, and no bringing back dead people. You got it? Guy's like, "Oh, yeah, sure. I want my Reese's cup to moan when I take off their little panties." The guy says, "Okay, now there's 4 rules." My oldest, my youngest son was like, "Oh, that is so cringeworthy, Dad." Hates it, but I'm still going to eat Reese's cups because they're delicious.
Well, have you seen the Family Guy?
I don't know.
The Reese's. Oh boy,
I don't know.
we got.
I haven't watched that in years.
If he saw it, trust me, it wasn't on purpose. It was somebody, sharing it on YouTube or something. But he got mad at me because I purposely bought, because you know how everyone's now trying all kinds of different variations of their stuff. Ever since Dr. Pepper took the number 2 spot away from Pepsi, I got potato chip Reese's cups. And it's essentially like you crushed up potato chips and put them in the Reese's cups with the peanut butter. And I bought them for him. Hey, what the hell is this? Why would you buy me this? I said, because it sounded good. Oh, of course he still ate them. And he didn't hesitate eating them either. He was like, they're not that good.
Still eat them.
I put the link in the YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of my favorite bits.
Okay. Rocks or Reese's.
Yeah, it's always been
Boom,
very funny.
boom. Why could I definitely see that happening? I think right now the stream is going to probably be choking and going crazy because my Firefox over here locked up.
I'm Officer Reese's.
No, the stream still seems like it's going somehow. I don't know how. Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
still going.
I don't know how because now like 2 applications over here completely locked up. And they don't work and they go boom.
Was it you that sent me there's a meme, or was it in Voxer maybe that? Oh yeah, the Russian one. Like you don't. I'm not going to pay $149
Yeah.
for Microsoft to encrypt my drive. Let the
I'll
Russians,
Russians do it for free. Yeah. And I sent that to my security buddies. They're like, oh. They're like
But
sad but true.
I don't know if I sent you the one. I sent it to. Every once in a while, I poke my head into the mayhem that is the Davies brothers signal group. Knowledge, but
Oh, yeah, Dor, we have to add you to that.
you can't keep up, Dor. You can't keep up.
It's insanity. It's absolute insanity.
It is insanity. But you like that one I put about Trudeau when he was going to shake Trump's hand.
Oh, yeah. Got in trouble for grabbing pussy.
Oh, jeez.
I'll send it to you on Voxer, Dor.
Wow. Yeah, I'm in one chat where there's like 4 former coworkers, and every now and then, because I still love Buzzkill on my phone because I won't get repetitive notifications for the same app, kind of thing. Because if I was, that's a group where I'd be like, bing, 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 bing. Because one of them's on an iPhone, and every time he says he likes something, it literally resends this. Oh, it's stupid. Yeah,
you get a notification every time.
I know. Every time. I hate it.
As an example, Dor, I was watching some Gladstonebury footage on YouTube, and I noticed at Gladstonebury they had they've got all these big banners everywhere, and one of the banners had written on it, was it Jaffa cakes are biscuits. Now Jaffa cakes are a kind of a cookie that they have in the UK. We don't have them here, but
I know what they are.
Okay. So apparently there was this big argument about whether they were a cake or a biscuit. Now, the McVitie's, the company that owns them, wanted to classify them as a cake because then they don't attract sales tax if they're cake. But if they're a biscuit, they get a sales tax. So Eric and I basically had a 3-day ding-dong argument that consisted of no less than about 100 messages on Signal about whether, in fact, they were cakes or biscuits. It's the sort of stuff you're missing out on.
That's why I stuck out.
I would just look at the sugar content. So I think biscuits would have to have less.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I've never eaten one. Probably never will.
All right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, just certain foods now I just look at every now and then. Yeah, great. Wife gets cake, ice cream. Oh God, what do they call those? Like one of the
Diabetes? What are we?
Yeah. One of the kids called them Oreos for rich people because they're not actually
Hydrox.
No. No, they're in like the frozen section by the ice creams and stuff where they're like almost like a cake or the cookies. Milanos, maybe?
All those big cookies with the ice cream in between them, like the big chunk.
No, they're not fancy.
Well, you grew up somewhere different than I did then, because that's as fancy as we got, man.
Well, my wife always told me she had wine taste beer budget. now that there's two of us, she's just spending more money.
It's a lot of wine going around.
Yeah. Yeah, but she still does like when she finds a $15 bottle of bubbly that tastes good. They're not called Milanos. I can't remember what they're called now, damn it. But they're literally like cake-like, and the middle is like frosting, like actual frosting, not like Hydrox or Oreos.
Twinkies. Fig Newtons.
No, they're not Fig Newtons, man. I can't.
There's an ice cream in the middle.
It's like frosting. It's like actual frosting.
But it's frozen?
Right.
It's in the freezer section. So you basically pull them out when you're ready to eat them, and you leave them in the fridge, and they like just get not rock hard, and you eat them.
Moon pie.
No, god damn it! Fine, I'll go look it up at BJ's.
Wagon wheels.
Eskimo pies.
Ooh, nice one.
Frozen foods. Ice cream and desserts.
Ding dongs.
Ding,
I like
ding,
ding
ding,
dongs.
ding. I like ring dings.
Can't believe it's not a Twinkie.
You don't keep Twinkies in the freezer.
I mean, you can.
Sure.
They're not on their damn website.
Elsa cake?
Tune in next week.
Reading stuff. It's a frozen themed cake, though. Does that help?
I'm ignoring you. Because I'm mad. Man, I can't find these damn things.
Drives me mad as well. Don't worry.
Oh, I'm pissed. What are we talking about?
Oh, did you hear? Furries did some hacking.
What? Furries?
Furries.
What's a furry?
What? Oh,
The people that dress up and do crazy things and
they're
animals.
also you've definitely heard of like like the My Little Pony festivals and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
they-
festivals.
yeah.
I've heard of My Little Pony. I haven't heard of My Little
Yeah,
Pony
My Little Pony
Festival.
festivals where the guys and the girls get dressed up like ponies and they prance around. And then some of them do extracurricular activity with the suits still on.
Ooh. I'd like
Yeah.
to see their dry cleaning bill.
Yeah, well, but they just did a hack job. I try to remember who they hacked. Oh, it was somebody who did bad stuff. I can't remember who it was now. Damn it.
Government? Government employees? Kiwis?
Oh, they attacked the Heritage
Damn
Foundation.
Kiwis!
No, the Heritage Foundation website.
Are you still looking for that cake?
Yes. Damn it.
Is it a popular one or you just make it up or what?
No, they're just for fancy.
He's just made it up.
Are
It's the
they
Heritage
chocolate?
Foundation ice cream cake.
Are they vanilla?
No, all different flavors. They even have like pistachio flavored and yeah, pistachio flavored cookie, coffee flavored, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I can't help you. We're lucky if we get Ben and Jerry's here.
Well, now Ben and Jerry's isn't even American.
Is it not?
Nope. Most things that were American are now not American. They've been sold off.
Mm.
Just like Budweiser. Budweiser's not even American anymore.
Who owns Budweiser now?
It's owned by a
Germans.
conglomerate. I want to say Swedish people. The Swedish people, Sweden? No, not Sweden. Switzerland had a beer, but the beer was literally called Budweiser in their language, and Budweiser sued them and said it's too close. You got to change your name, and that was like in 2006. And they, at the end of court, they turned and says, "We're going to own you," And it was like less than 7 years later, they bought Budweiser outright, and they fired every top executive.
Well, that's I believe that's Czech Republic, and it was the original
Was it Czech?
Budweiser.
Okay, yeah.
I think so, and it was actually a couple hundred years old, or however old this was.
Yeah, it was one of those ancient beer places. Okay, they're called macaroons.
Macaroons. Oh,
Macaroons.
macarons.
And I put a link in the chat. This is what the wife likes to buy for desserts, and they're literally like cakes, and in the middle is like actual.
So it's not a brand. You're just talking about macaroons.
Yeah, it's a type.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. That's where we were confused. Yeah.
It's like saying custard pie. So yeah, macaroons.
Oh, and then I wanted to know how to spell cherooted because I tried to find that as well.
CHROOT.
Oh,
Is it
It's
like
actually
CH mod.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
It's a Linux command.
Yeah. I heard cherooted environment.
Yeah, Chroot is an operation on Linux and Unix-like operating system that changes the apparent root directory for the current running process.
See, yeah. Oh, I used it. So I've got a couple show titles written down, and one of them is Cherooted Environment, spelled Cheruded, Cherooted,
Yeah,
cherub, I guess. And then Crapalicious, which sounds pretty sweet.
Oh, you got to have bloody bastards in there somewhere.
Bloody bastard. So which is the swear word there to you?
Nothing. That's everyday parlance for us.
But what
Bloody
would-
and bastard.
bloody? Like what's a more offensive word, bloody or bastard?
Bastard.
Bastard.
Yeah.
I mean, bloody here means nothing. Like it's just not a thing.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah, we use it all the time as well.
Yeah, we don't use it.
Bloody thing.
It's not a
Bloody
thing.
government.
yeah.
You know what is good is Roshan chocolate, CJ says.
Rocher or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had some my father-in-law's neighbor, they're Ukrainian from way back when, and he brought some chocolates. I don't know if it was that kind, but they're all wrapped in like a fancy gold leaf paper and wrapped in a cone shape. So is that what those are? But they were good. I think they had some sort of liquor in them too.
To quote my 16-year-old, liquor, barely even know her. I was like, oh my God.
All these things that I get to look forward to. Oh,
Yeah. And of
Jeez.
course, when my youngest says it around everyone when everyone's drinking, he's hilarious. When my oldest does it, not around people who are drinking, my wife is like, oh my God, I can't believe you just said such a thing. And my oldest like, goddamn double standards. Like, dude, get over it.
You mentioned APK Mirror earlier,
Yeah.
Ivor.
Mm.
Is that a?
That just works through the browser, I think. But you can
Oh,
get an
okay.
app for it.
Yeah,
Just
it's
It's on Android.
it's a service started by one of the Android authority guys, and it's basically the only site I know that validates every one of the uploads against previous hashes of known types to know that yes, what you're getting is not fiddled with code kind of thing.
Does Obtainium do that as well, though?
Don't know.
I thought Obtainium only did updates. It will alert you about updates.
No, you can install from GitHub, and I think you can send a link to the APK and install that way as well.
Yeah, one of them I just
Okay.
did or saw the other day had all three links right there. Was it Octi? I think. Yeah.
I tried to install that bloody bastard, but it was one of the ones that required the Google Play services.
Mm.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun, that.
It looks fun, man. I remember when, Jesus, when I lived in Hawaii the first time, which was, wow, a long time ago. What was it? It was what was that game? Was it a handheld PlayStation?
PS Vita or
Oh, yeah, yeah, Vita or something.
PSV?
Yeah, something like PSV. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one.
PSP and
had
PS Vita.
PSP.
PSP.
It was a
PSP.
PSP. Yeah, my kids really wanted one of those.
So when was that? Because that was like right after they had.
It would have been around
That had to be
2005 or something like that.
yeah. I want to say it came out early 2000s and it wasn't replaced with the Vita until like maybe 2010. I know it was after it took a little bit of time, but yeah,
That thing was pretty sweet though. Like that was a good machine, and one of the games that I had for it was a ragdoll physics based game, and it was I had a couple physics based games. I wish I could remember the names of them, but that was the first time I had seen that type of gameplay, and it's fun. It's just beat the hell out of whatever it is, and yeah, I like that movement. I like that motion.
yeah. I will say, my oldest just went and bought a 3DS, and I believe Microsoft officially, they took, they took the eShop. They killed the eShop on the 3DS, and when they kill the eShop, then they don't care about the device anymore. So now the device, he said, yeah, he literally had to screw off the bottom of the 3DS, and there's a SD card in there, and he had to take the SD card or SD card out, flash it, put it back in the device. Now he basically has like like a modded system on it, to where right there in the interface he can download other games like normally cost money for free, and he swears it runs like perfect. I'm like, wow, okay, that's cool.
Oh, this is one of the games I had too.
Oh.
I didn't like it as much as my friend. So this came out 2008, and I had that game. So it must have been 2008 when I was there.
Yeah, my in the chat, yeah, my the oldest, he was well aware. He said the newest version of the 3DS Plus has a different processor in it, so it's a touch better. But they came with two different versions of it. One version had a higher refresh rate, and the other one had, I want to say, a more colorful screen, if I'm not mistaken. And he said he preferred the one with a more colorful screen, which I was shocked. I thought he wanted, to stop complaining about lag and everything and get that refresh rate. And then, of course, he told me how he would kill me in Mario Kart. Fine.
Oh, get out of town. Get out of town.
I know. Fine. Give me. Come on. I crushed him. How did you do that? Good, man. Get good.
Yeah. How did I do that? About 6,000 hours of gameplay
Yeah, literally.
and lots of weed.
Lots of experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure. But I better go, and my daughter's got a friend over here, so I'll go drop her off at her house. But great to see you again, and good that we managed to do this within a month of the last one.
Almost.
Almost a month.
Almost.
Yeah. Usually it's like 3 months. So
And time's going too quick, man.
tell me about it. Yeah.
Can't wait till I can retire.
Yeah, what's that? You got about 4 years left, haven't you? Something like that.
2 years and 3 months.
Well, that's nothing.
Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping. I told the wife she could knock me out. I'll wake up in 2 years and I'll be happy. Yeah, I got
outside again, pumping water into the pool. More pool.
Yeah.
Got to do like 3 trips.
right.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I gotta hop off and do laundry.
All right, so you should have my link from my
I got
file.
everything downloaded.
All right, man. See you guys next time, whenever that is.
Yeah, later.
Yeah,
See you guys.
yeah. Because next week I'm screwed.
This one too. I put a game in here and on the chat. It's called Patapon.
Patapon. I want to say it
And
rings a
it was
bell.
this rhythm-based game. Like I said, my buddy loved it, but it wasn't. I didn't really care for it that much. It was pretty fun, but you have to, you build your army of these little one-eyed duders here.
So what is
And
like?
then
Okay.
the game is keeping them marching. So you're following a pattern, pata 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 pawn, pata 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 pawn, and then I think it speeds up when you start needing to fight. So it's actually it was pretty fun, but music's not really my thing.
They had Patamon 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, I do remember seeing like highlights of this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was like almost like a oh man, I'm trying to think of what it's called, where it's like a sideways
Mm-hmm. Side scroll.
like army thing. You got to keep making troops,
Yeah.
and you got
and
to
just
either
following the rhythm.
yeah. I want to say sometimes it's attacking, sometimes it's defending.
It's almost like the Guitar Hero type of follow. Really cool guitar. That's just little freebies when it's That's pretty fun.
Oh yeah, that's a nice hack and slash. The latest game that I'm liking. Yeah, I mean, I count that. I don't know if I can get there. I don't think in the Steam client it will give me links, shareable links. So I got to come over here and say,
I'm looking at this list of best PSP games, and I went to the very end. And 6 from the end is number 511, Napoleon Dynamite. Oh, I gotta go, Door.
okay, all right, man. I'll talk to you.
All right, cool. Later.
Take it easy. You can on Steam? I didn't feel like I didn't see what I was saying. So yeah, this is a game that I started playing. It's by one of the original guys behind Ultima, who also created Bard's Tale, where he was on the team with Bard's Tale, and he created this game, very old school looking, extreme modern day bonuses and like upgrades and what's the words for it? I'm trying to remember. Like quality of life things compared to games from that era. And it's completely free. He said, I don't care if I'm going to make $300 or $300,000 off this game. He like finished it like right around, right after COVID like was done. He says, I'm just giving this away for free. No, I've heard lots of people playing that one. Yeah, and the factory simulator game. I can't remember. Yeah. Yeah, I have selective time I can play, so just have a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there. I'm trying stuff. So, man, my head. Yeah. So if I come here, maybe I have to go to game store page. You're saying from here I can share it. So obvious. Literally just click on a blank part. Too easy. And I'm sitting there overlooking it for more complicated solutions because, of course, that's what I do. Yeah, I see that one. Yeah, my like wish list is way too long. Yeah, I remember seeing this one now. Nosha. I love that art style. Crike, that looks really good. Victoria, did I see this one before? I don't know. No, I don't think I have seen this one. Hmm. So, base builder plus automation. Oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, these automation games, man, they went crazy in the last like 6 months. People are cranking out all kinds of automation games. This one is gigantic. And then the train comes. Wow. Yeah. I can see how that game could take some time. Yeah. See, that's the kind of game I almost wish. Yeah, yeah, it's like a drug. I almost wish I had the time for because I know it's the kind of game where the more you know, the more you enjoy about the game. But as soon as you start playing the game, you're like all these unknowns you got to figure out. That one off. Okay. Oh, and it has mods. Yeah, even more of a drug. It's been there for a few years. Well, that's good. That means the game is nice and stable and it's a good amount of mods. All right, guys, I gotta finish laundry before I go to bed. And tomorrow is going to be an interesting day at work. I can tell, one of those kind of days where I wish I had a personal day, but I don't. So I'm gonna have to go to work. All right, guys. Thank you guys for coming out. Always good to hear from you guys. And we'll talk to you guys later.